Hello and welcome, Halo fans. We are here. We are live. A lot more HSEL Halo action going down right now. I'm FBI Tugboat. I'm here with my man, Old Man Mikowski. Mikowski, how are we doing on the day?
Man, if today is anything like yesterday, we are in store for some incredible Halo. That lower semifinals match that we ended the night on, I went to sleep and I think I had dreams about it, and it turned out to be real. We had a dream series in that one where both teams were down massively. We saw a 3-0 King of the Hill comeback on Livefire. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And then Putnam City after that, down 48-46 in the Recharge Slayer, and they come back and win that. So, I mean, it was unbelievable levels of adversity and ice from all of these young men and women. So proud of everyone's performance so far. And like I said, if we get even half of what we saw yesterday, it's going to be an incredible day today.
Yeah, we are in set for a barn burner here, Mikowski. You literally couldn't write scripts. If you're writing a Halo competitive movie or something like that. I can't say a Halo television show. I can't say if you're writing a Halo television show, because that, of course, has been done. My point being here, and it's actually not terrible. I'm completely memeing. It's just one of those fun things that's fun to or popular to say bad things about. Anyway, we are getting into our lower finals here and now. QI Roberts. In case you haven't joined us, folks, QI Roberts is a squad that has won the HSEL Nationals the past 5 semesters. Let's take a look at this bracket here, Mikowski.
Yeah, we saw QIR. They were the top dog coming into this tournament, but multiple squads taking multiple games off of them, 2 in total. So that leads to what could be an exciting grand finals. But first, we got to go into our lower finals. Epic Comets, Putnam City, 2 teams that were able to show some incredible Halo the other day, and look at this. It's a rematch of the upper semifinals where it went the distance to a Game 5 Slayer. You gotta feel like it's trending towards something like that today as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The trend will reign supreme. They have in the past couple of days, and the teams that establish like kind of a predictable pattern as far as what they can do and are able to go forth and execute that have always come out on top. Taking a look, we haven't really talked about what I've been saying so far, Mikowski, is undying honor and glory, and that is definitely the case. There is a little bit more here on the line. Yes, we here at the HSEL would want to set these young men and women up for success, and what a better way to do that, Mikowski, than a little bit of scholarship money. Yes, we could get giving literally thousands of dollars away here in the form of scholarship opportunities. First place getting $3,000. Second place will be 2. Third place will be 1. Still a lot of money coming on into this one. Now, I wanted to talk about some of the awards that are up for grabs here as well. The QI Roberts coach, Chris Cantrell. Oh, Chris Cantrell. Yes, we had frequently we'll have players up in for interviews after a team wins. Chris Cantrell came on in the coach, kind of similar to as we saw yesterday with the team that won. We came in, brought in an interview with their coach. Chris Cantrell is up for Coach of the Year. Yes, sir. We do have the interview. We'll be checking that one out before we start grand finals, but that's here next. I just want to talk about the program a little bit. Coach of the Year finalists will receive a $1,000 grant for their school program through the Video Games and Esports Foundation. These are just finalists as well. He is already a finalist. Now he's just trying to go forth and win, right? Plus another $1,000 if they are selected as the winner next Sunday, that is June 9th, during the HSEL Student and Coach Awards ceremony. This will be happening live on Esports U right here on the Switch channel, right? And then last but not least, there's an HSEL honor roll as well. This is not just talking about play on the day as well, not just play on the virtual battlefield. And QI Roberts player Darker User is a finalist. Is one of the 5 finalists, and that will receive a $500 scholarship through that same Video Games and Esports Foundation. They will also get another $1,500 if they're selected. Again, Darker User's already gotten the scholarship here. It'll be an additional $1,500 if they win the first out of 5 on this one. That will also be selected next Sunday, June 9th, during the HSEL Student and Coach Awards ceremony. Very, very exciting stuff. And Mikowski, we're literally talking about dollars that'll go forth and further these young men and women's higher education.
Wow. When we were competing, all of this felt like a dream. Something like the HSEL felt like a figment of our imagination, but it's real here today because of organizations like this and scholarship programs like this as well. You're going to be paying off some of your tuition, if not all of your textbooks. So getting an education partially paid for through playing Halo. I mean, again, this is the coolest thing to be a part of because, again, Halo's a video game. It exists in the virtual world, but the rewards and the life experiences that come from it are real.
We used to play for pizza, Mikowski. I'm not kidding. We used to play for pizza.
Two
right?
slices if you win, only one if you lose.
It's mind blowing in the best way possible. I think sometimes mind blowing has like a negative connotation to it, but that's the best way that I can use to describe it. Sometimes I think about stuff like this, and I'm literally kind of at a loss for words, and you and I literally talk for a living, so that should be saying a whole lot, right? It is. It's just one of those things that I think about. But no, when I say play for pizza, of course, I mean like losing team would pay for food next time, and now we have thousands of dollars being given away right here. How awesome is that? Hey, regardless, let's go ahead and a lot of pizza. That's a very good point. That'll keep you alive for a while throughout the college career that you'll go forth and be able to do with Halo involved as well. Amazing stuff. Let's go through here. Let's talk about these two teams just a little bit, and maybe check out kind of the writing on the wall when it comes to these two. Higher seed, number 2 seed, Putnam City over here on the left. I will run through the Epic Charters roster right here. Epic Charter, we got Oak Assassin, we got Zane Jimin, not Benjamin, but Zane Jimin. I see. It seems we have not seen Zane start yet. This is one of our subs. Dally 7210 or 7210 7210. One Eye Willie has been an absolute slayer here, Mikowski. Super Smiley, another sub. Moonwalker, 27, and Miss Brooks Cooks, another sub right here. Talk to me a little bit about Putnam City.
Yeah, they got One-Eyed Willie on the squad. The play of the day yesterday came from the man himself with that epic strafe, crouch, peek, and pop around the corner of the bench for the triple kill on Solitude, a single player making a huge difference in that instance, and I cannot wait to see where they fall. Putnam City has some success recently. They won the Fall 22 and Spring 23 majors, and they've given QI Roberts some of their best competition we've seen yet. However, Epic Charter Schools, on the other side, gave QI Roberts the best competition we've seen yet in this tournament, taking them to a Game 4, ultimately falling a little short of that. But this is going to be an incredible matchup nonetheless. And when you look at some of the previous success of Putnam City, that standout play from a guy like One-Eyed Willie, it's no surprise that they had the ice to bounce back from a ton of adversity where in Game 4, they were up 3-0, looking to secure the series 3-1, and they lost the next 4 hills in a row on that live fire, which sent them to a nerve-wracking Game 5 on recharge, down 48-46. Putnam City iced up and got the next 4 kills in a row, which in what is that? What's the equivalent of that? It's like pitching a perfect game, or at least a perfect inning, since it's a microcosm of the 50 kills. The 4 needed there were flawlessly executed on. We saw 4 straight from Putnam City to earn their spot here today, and my goodness, that's an earn with all capital letters.
Yeah. At the least, we'll say that Putnam City was giving the people what they want, right? A little bit of excitement right there. I don't think they were really enjoying it. That was way too close for comfort. We got to sit down as well with the coach here, Weasel, yesterday. Very, very much enjoyed that. The man has to expand the trophy rack to fit everything in there, Mikowski. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, that was really cool to sit down. Was his gamer tag Weasels, right? I think it was Weasels.
I believe so. Oh yeah, I was not I was not insulting him. Weasels was his tag here, yes.
Well, that's the irony, right? Because it's not like he weaseled his way into this competition, into this spot on the day. They earned it, hard fought. And we talked afterwards, Tugboat and I, a reaction to that interview we had with the coach. And I told you, I said, everything he said was what I hear from HCS professional coaches that coach the top teams in the entire world. And it's so special to me. That's what I'm really enjoying about my experience this weekend with HSEL. Halo's all the same. Competition in that sense is all the same. And we got the best version of that here with some incredible high school men and women ready to duke it out. Cannot wait.
Yeah, we're down to our last three. Excuse me, we're down to our last three as well. Talking about pricing, yeah, so 3,000 for first, 2,000 for second. QIR has reserved that. They have gotten at least first or second. They cannot get third coming on in from the. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. It's early. I had to grab myself an energy drink. It's not coffee today. Man, oh man, it's esports early. That's what I like to say. Over here on the West Coast, it's like 11 o'clock.
Gotta have it.
So, loser of this match, I mean, it's like a fantastic deal, right? Hey, even if you lose, you still get $1,000 in scholarship money. Of course, still going to have those eyes on the prize of 2,000, 3,000 respectively. But at the end of the day, this is a situation where QIR cannot drop to third, even if they do lose in grand finals. Now, Mikowski, talk to me a little bit about just what would have to happen for QIR to lose in the grand finals and take second in this HSEL Nationals 24 competition.
Well, yesterday we saw QIR drop some games, and that's important in the sense that we got more eyes on their tendencies, on their opening break strategies. So for the teams that are here today, that's Bosco and Putnam City, whoever is to move on in this round, I hope they did a little VOD review last night because of the extended series that we saw with QIR involved, which we haven't traditionally seen. I believe they've won the last 3 national tournaments, so they've been on a roll. They've been on a run. And now they have a little bit of their strategies that leaked out into the stratosphere, and that's part of the strategy of Halo competition is watching what your opponents do. Knowing what you do best is just as important as knowing what your opponent does best. And I think to answer your question, QIR put a little bit of that out there by losing some matches yesterday. We got to see them on more maps, on more game types. So I'm curious to see if the coaches for these respective squads have jotting down in a notebook next to some math, geometry, or chemistry what those opening break strategies looked like, because we got to see a lot of them yesterday from QIR.
Absolutely. And like opening breaks reveal the hand in so many ways. So what we're talking about right here, that was a CT, just talking a little bit about this while we get this set up here. They say both teams in lobby, we'll go when we go. How about that one? QIR
I also want to
winning.
correct myself. I said this previously. I am so caught up by that incredible series between Putnam City and Bosco.
Oh yeah.
That I just assumed that both won, right? Like it's like can both teams advance in the bracket? That's what it felt like should have happened, right? Obviously in life and in Halo, one team's got to win, one team's got to lose. So it's Putnam City, an epic charter school. So my apologies for that. I like I said, that memory of that series between Putnam and Bosco still rings in my head, and it was a magical memory that we got to have together, Tugboat. And GG's to Bosco did not advance here to Championship Sunday. That's Putnam City instead. So I just wanted to correct myself and set the stage appropriately as we get ready for this lower final.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would have paid for an interview with Arrow, or Suave Arrow, I believe it was, but just wrapping up the point here before we start talking about the Strongholds recharge map a little bit. QIR, 4-3 CTF Aquarius, and then dropping a map that was Slayer on the Solitude. Stronghold Livefire went very, very close, very down to the wire at 250, 244. This is a QIR Epic Charter squad as well. Like, this is the matchup between these two. And then King of the Hill recharge went a little bit more handedly the way of QIR. That was a 4-2 victory right there. Recharge Strongholds coming up here first. Is there anything in particular that either of these teams need to pay attention to coming on into the first map of this best-of-5 series?
I think the key here for both of these two teams is going to be to control A and B cap points. Here in Strongholds, you got 3 options, 3 opportunities to capture, and as long as you capture 2 out of the 3, you'll score 1 point for every second. If you're able to capture A, B, and C, you're going to be earning 2 points per second, but I can't get ahead of yourself. It's very, very difficult to score what we call a triple cap. So I want to see these teams focus on controlling A and B, and look at that. That's it. That's the strategy for Putnam City off the start. They're going to force Epic Comets to these back wall C-spawns. You can see on the left now, right of your screen. That's the disadvantageous spawn here on Recharge, so who can force that?
That's really the question here as this one starts off. We see a lot of red down here. I see red numbers, A, B, C getting a little bit of love now from our blue Putnam City Pirates. Now B seemingly going the other way as well.
Hopping on board here with Blitzel, a big reason why they were able to come back in that Recharge Slayer. Now here on Recharge Strongholds, looking to put together the same performance, working their way up to top A after an assist. Has a couple players here for Epic Comments, but with both weak, He takes them both down with a reversal, no less. Isn't able to secure the capture point, but it looks like Lightskin's IQ will clean up on it. All of that was created by Blitzel. They go down, but it goes to show, Tugboat. Sometimes you lose your life, but you win the objective. You win the points, and that's what matters in Halo.
Losing battles and winning wars. That's what the name of the game is here. A and C held. Right now, Epic Comets is not going to be happy just holding on to B. Losing a point every half second or so back and forth, and Blitzel's going to win that one. We got some head-to-head Halos starting here early. 61-1.
This is a really impressive start here for Putnam City, and it all started with that A-B hold, but look at this now. They're able to have as much efficiency with the AC split hold. The split holds create split spawn scenarios where players spawn up on multiple opposite sides of the map, and that's much more difficult to control. And I like Epic Comets here working their way to the spawn point that is closest to their next capture opportunity, which is C. Now, Putnam City says, you guys can take C, we'll take B. And look at this, a mastermind in strategy. Our Putnam City, led by their coach Weasels, they say, oh, we'll take back that initial strategy point that we had of A-B control, and we'll force you to spawn at C. But you can see all 3 capture points in a tizzy right now, all of them being flipped. Props to Epic Comets. That's an epic play right there, flipping the map on its head. Now it's Putnam City with those disadvantageous C spawns. They're going to start the scoring.
Now, this is kind of given over here as well, it seems. This is Dally getting about as low as you can get. That's like literal 2 health right there. Okay, coming on back here. 19-20 as Epic Comets looking to mount a little bit of a comeback.
This is big. In strongholds, we say 100 points. It looks like a lot on the scoreboard. Even 60 points looks like a lot on the scoreboard, but man, you can roll quickly. Strongholds is like a pickup game at the basketball park where you might go down 10 points, but it's a game of runs, right? The other team can come right back. That's a little bit of what we're seeing here as Epic Comets have cut this lead in half.
A game of runs? No, that's baseball. Unless I have this wrong.
All the spurts.
55-82 here. We're having a blast early, folks. Getting Mikowski on in, and yeah, Tugboat here. Very, very glad to have it done. And just as an update as well, we will have an interview for our grand finals as well. Obviously not before this one, and will be from the winners here, folks. Just like Mikowski said, this is a run that is now ending with Epic Comets up, unless there's a massive flip. As of right now, there will not be. Nice killjoy there. One Eye Willie put down, and no more streak for you, my friend.
The name of the game, it feels like, in this tournament. Resolve adversity. Who's able to bounce back off the mat after getting knocked down? For now, it's Epic Comets, but just as I say that, fittingly, Putnam City are able to score B and C. How quickly can Epic Comets regain control of the map and the scoring? Previously, we saw Putnam City go on an 85-point run, and look at this. Epic Comets shut it down after 5 seconds at most. Now Putnam City with control of A, they're looking to get it back. As 2 go down, though, so for Putnam City, they don't have the numbers advantage. This should be a hold and a capture here, especially with the use of the camo. That's why Moonwalker is a little camouflage. He's got the power-up that spawns bottom mid on this map, and this one is back and forth. We have ourselves a slugfest early in the lower finals.
Yes, sir. Now, Epic Comets almost came up to a tripling up situation. All 3 inside there. Putnam City beats feed, gets to see quick Lee, and avoids the worst situation possible with any Strongholds game mode. Couple of shots mailed early. Putnam City players opting to get out of that one as Lightskin taken down. Can't quite shimmy the feet fast enough to get on over to top BR area. Now the call is for pit. Players down there. Is that Lightskin, I believe, down there? Information key here within Halo, of course.
Intel is absolutely huge. So too is the communication that you can share with your teammates because of it. The small talk going to be especially important. It's not so much about communicating what the other team is doing. I like when teams have the small talk where, all right, I just spawned at C, for example, or I want to go push B. What capture point do we want to go for next? Having that almost conversational communication is so key here in Halo, and right now you have to assume Epic Comets with a little bit more clear comms as they're able to bounce back. Again, we saw the first 85 points go to Putnam City. Only 7 points since then to Epic Comets rolling 150. So this is an epic bounce back from their crew.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Like I always say, communication, very important. And life and Halo, your relationships and Halo, communication key, all of those things, folks. Might sound hammy, but it's 100% true. On board with Blitzel. So you're going to combine with a teammate for one. Now down bottom, easy kill as another Killjoy comes in against who else? The One-Eye Willie.
AC split hold now for Putnam City. It's a situation in the match where you'll take what you can get. As we hop on board here with Dally looking to flip C back into their favor. As it looks like no pressure coming through. Dally is going to be able to secure Epic Comets a little late on the push. There is XD. Can he make up for lost time with the use of the camo? Dally's going to get the backs back on him instead. Unbelievable capture here from Dally. Offense turns into good defense.
And stringing those two, or that one into that one, that offense into defense, or vice versa, is going to be so crucial right here. To not just like start runs of your own, but to end the runs of the other side. It looks like One-Eye Willie might have been opting to try to charge out that plasma pistol. Not 100% sure.
It's part of that mental battle that you have to fight internally, right? You're able to secure the quote-unquote map by securing 2 out of the 3 zones, and then, what do you know? Next 5 seconds, the other team has control of it. It's happening in real time here as Putnam City bounce right back. Epic Comets with what looked like control of the map heading into the 200s. We played at 250 here, and now they have to be questioning, how do we get back in this one? And Putnam City have kept it close throughout the last couple of minutes, where they're within one fell swoop, one swift strike, and after that team double kill, taking down 2 for Epic Comets, this is looking good for Putnam City. They could very well take the lead going into the 200s instead.
Looking very, very good. I gotta say, looking very good. If Halo is a game of runs, then Epic Comets has shown off the marathon thus far, my man.
That's exactly what this is. This is a marathon indeed, and you can almost overheat a little bit if you start to sprint. You have to, again, pace yourself as if it were something like a marathon, because it is. These are all best-of-5 series, so even if you go down in Game 1, even if you lose Game 2, you still always have that reverse sweep dream alive. And look at this. We talked about Putnam City maybe coming back, reversing the map on its head here is exactly what they're doing. Oh, a nice back smack there. Takes down 1 for Putnam City. And it's the camo control for Epic Comets. That's been a major key factor, but Putnam City shut it down right after. They don't allow Epic Comets to roll, to compound on their value with that camo. Instead, it's tied 178 all. Unbelievable.
It's about as good as it gets. I swear we're not actually writing this. These are live competitions. Mikowski and I have had 0 input into the script of this game.
The script is in.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's just so perfect that both of these teams are so close here, number 2 and 3. Both of these teams have given QIR the winner of the last 5 semesters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count them, folks. And so it's just so perfect. One-Eye Willie lining that up perfectly as well. The burst coming from the pulse rifle and hitting its mark.
You don't want to let One-Eyed Willie hold the shock rifle. We saw what he could do with it yesterday. Heard the play of the weekend maybe with that triple kill. And this could be the play that earns Epic Comets the win. They are going to be instead the first team to roll into the 200s, but it's still so close. Oh, another headshot! Another headshot for the double kill. Looking cross map for a triple, but XD shuts it down. A double kill for their own. Can they turn it into a triple? Opponent down to 1 HP. So crucial to win this 1v1. You win this, you might just win the hill, win the game.
That's good, but now Frag's coming in. Got the last shot, and Blitzel keeps his teammate alive. Talk about keeping momentum alive.
Wow.
Putnam City now taking points.
Unbelievable ice there from XD as One-Eyed Willie looked like he was about to pop off like he did yesterday. He did have a little mini pop off and secured the lead going into the 200s, but my goodness, Tugboat, ever since the 187 mark, it's been all back and forth. No team really even able to separate by more than 10 seconds until this very moment where Epic Comets starting to run away with it. Putnam City with 1, maybe 2 chances to stop the scoring and stop them from earning the win.
4? I did it again. Darn it, Mikowski. I was like, this can't be right. 23, 25, and 4. No, those are assists right there, folks. 25 and 10 is still fantastic. Lightscan, Dunzo, 230
That's
now.
insane.
What does Putnam City have to do to reverse this situation?
You got to shut down One-Eyed Willie, and you got to prevent another camo grab. Even if you don't win this game, that's something I'm taking into the next couple of games. If we go onto another map that has the camo on it, we need to find a way to shut it down. A win condition is just simply making sure that One-Eyed Willie or any of these Epic Comets don't have it in their hands. A, B, and C trickle into Putnam City's favor, but they lose their resources doing so, giving back control of A and B. Now it's time to watch the cross is exactly what Oak Assassin is doing. Needs just shots here. Doesn't even need the slay. Just needs to earn the assist, and that will do it. What an incredible start to your day 3. Championship Sunday, no less, and it's looking like it's in full form.
Championship Sunday, yes, sir. We are here and we are live. Epic Charter putting a fine foot forward. Just as a reminder here, folks, we're looking at Putnam City, the number 2 seed, getting beat in the very first game of this best of 5 series, longer series, of course, by the number 3 seed, the Epic Charter squad. Now, both of these teams came forth and had fantastic performances against any individuals, and you couldn't talk about fantastic HSEL Nationals 2024 performances without talking about this lower finals map.
Putnam City, despite taking the loss, I think have something to hold their hat on and say, boy, we kept it really close, despite the fact that they had all the shock rifles. We saw One-Eyed Willie with it. He shut the game down with that double kill, you could argue, despite XD's counter double kill. It was just a little too much control of the map at that time for Epic Comets. Furthermore, we talked about this at the end of the game, too much camo control. I don't think I ever saw camo in the suits, in the armor suits of Putnam City. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm focusing on next game. Guys, we kept it so close, and we didn't control any of the sandbox. We didn't control any of the power-ups or power weapons. Imagine if you get just half of that. Imagine if you just get the camo or the shock rifle, or hey, maybe both. So Putnam City, they're down in this series, but not out, certainly not so, when you consider those facts.
I love that. Dare I say both? Oh, you are a saucy one today, Mikowski. Active camo and pulse rifle. What is going on here? No. Like you said, optimizing full utilization of this sandbox going to be crucial, especially in our Slayer game mode. And folks, in case you didn't join us Friday or today, Eli was talking about on Friday. Old man Mikowski here with me yesterday. Now continuing with me here for the lower finals, grand finals to finish this one out.
Man, this has been fun. It's been a thrill. This is our first time working together, and I feel like we've been doing it forever. This has been a really good time. But you got to give credit. I'm going to give a little credit to you, Tugboat. You're my duo for now. But I got to give a lot of credit to the players, the boys and girls in this tournament, right? Is that going the other way? Yeah, it is. Nice. Okay. The boys and girls in this tournament, the active players and the substitutes, because the substitutes are also important in keeping up with the chemistry, the vibes, and the emotions that can swing and go up and down. I'm sure substitutes who aren't even in the game are still providing some support through communication in things like the Discord, like we heard yesterday from Weasels, the coach of this Putnam City crew. So everybody is playing their part. Everybody is doing an incredible job, and got to give all the credit to those who are laying it on the line, who are putting themselves in the heat of battle and competition. Just love what I'm seeing so far throughout the weekend.
Yes, sir. Subs, incredibly important part of these competition of these teams and whatnot. And with subs, there's kind of like two different looks. Like you either pretty much have like a sub player who's going to be just goes crazy on the map and gets a crazy amount of slays, may not have as much of objective work though. Or the flip side of that is just really good. Got that big brain IQ for CTFs or other objective-based game modes that require a lot of cooperation. Mikowski, there is a lot of conversation around esports coaching, right? And I want you to talk to me as we get into the Slayer Streets map about how coaching is different within the great game of Halo over a long period of time now, too, than it is between coaches of other esports.
Well, I think when you talk about coaching in esports, especially as it relates to traditional sports, technique is actually a major part of it. But I think more so as it relates to the esports side of things, like you had asked, the process. You've got to play your process. There's a step-by-step, almost like an owner's manual to winning in different games. There's what we call a meta, which is what determines what the best decision is to make when the moment calls for it. I'm seeing great versions of that. Everybody's playing their process, and the reason the process is so important in competitive gaming, things can get pretty fast and chaotic. I'm sure just watching from home, some of the parents are thinking, "Oh my gosh, these guys are speaking another language," but we're not. This is just Halo. This is competitive gaming at its finest. And what these boys and girls are doing when the moments get difficult, when the adversity strikes, when the heat of battle is turned all the way up, they're still playing their process really well, which is so difficult to do. Things get a little hairy, and you might go from step 3 to step 4 or 5, right? You might skip a step in the process. I'm not seeing a lot of that this weekend, which is especially important when you consider the stakes here on Championship Sunday.
Yes, stakes are very infrequently higher. I can't say not higher, but infrequently higher when you're talking about Halo East or about high school esports. Man, oh man, One Eye Willie just gifted one from the gods right here. Is the Stalker rifle now in hand, trying to get vertical with it, take advantage. Some
Look at this though.
Shots. I don't think One Eye Willie hit anything right there.
But despite not hitting those shots, they have control of the Stalker rifle, which is the power weapon on this map. It's a variation, if you will, of the Shocker rifle, which we saw previously. 3 shots optimally to take an opponent down instead of the one like we saw from the Shock rifle. And then the other continuation from that conversation is the camo. Perfect switch there from the Observer. Love the production crew here, making sure you guys don't miss any of the action. And it's important to take down the camo. They do just that. So that's part of the process. That's part of that step-by-step process for Putnam City. The next step in the process is to make sure you secure the camo that's up at the 9:30 mark.
Yeah, that is the quickest breakdown there for you folks. Absolutely love it. Now on board with XD. Trying to nail some shots on over here. Maybe they see it. I mean, don't really know, but Old Man Mikowski, your Old Man Mikowski, One Eye Willie has been one of the hardest kills to take on the map. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, I agree, and XD's doing a great job of that too. Look at them disengaging when the moment strikes. It's the old poker analogy: know when to hold them, know when to fold them. I'm seeing great examples of that from both of these two teams and players here that were in that particular 1v1 gunfight. Look at that, 1v1, One Eye Willie versus XD. One Eye Willie probably just communicated to his teammates that XD is over in the PD station on the map. That's what that call out is. And Epic Comets send 2 to take on 1. Anytime you have that 2v1 advantage, you're able to more often than not win the fight because of the simple math. And here we see that 2v1 not only turn into a takedown on XD, but a pickup on another camo for Epic Comets.
Yeah, and these are the paying attention, the continual attention paid to these power-ups, to these various forms of taking on-map hardware advantage. That is it's going to continue to lead to advantage. I mean, Epic Comets right now ahead by, what is that, 7, just shy of doubling up. Did get a nice grenade kill there from that Bobcat, gets the claws out there, takes down 1. But, again, this is... You know, you said it yesterday, and I think I just kind of, or maybe Eli might have said it on Friday. We'll credit you. We'll credit you with it since you're here.
Who's
now, right?
Eli? He's not here. We don't know Eli.
It wasn't Eli. But you're saying it's about like the mid-30s, late 30s or so that you're talking about. Really, both of these teams like boiling their Halo down and be like, all right, what do we want to get done on this map? And everything coming up to that just kind of feels, not just kind of feels like setup, but it does feel like setup, right? Not to discredit it, but it feels like a lot of setup.
No, it's absolutely the feeling out portion of the match. Everybody just vying for numbers and positioning. Like we always say in Halo, competitively, which this absolutely 1000% is, Slayers don't unofficially start until the 30-point mark. So it's the feeling out portion of the match. You want to give yourself an advantage going into the 30s, that's for sure, but you just can't count yourself out. Until you get into the 30s, it's not over until it's over, and that's going to be a key. Keeping it close, trying to earn some of the sandbox, and we have another crucial camo coming up. This would be maybe 6 or 7 in a row when you include the previous game 1. And look at this, Epic Comets with use of the Shroud screen. That's how they're able to create that little snow globe effect on the camo to make it an easier grab of the resources. The process is being played so well here for Epic Comets, and that's the difference so far. I think the skill level at this rate, at this point in the tournament, your lower finals, is about even. It's all about sandbox control and strategy execution at this point, and so far Epic Comets have just a little bit more of it.
That is maybe a little bit of bad luck right there as an errant frag grenade Random frag lets know of the location of this player, but it's not going to matter. Getting out of dodge quickly, and the Putnam City just completely rotated all the way over towards this red side and stairs. So, right, no harm, no foul here for Oak Assassin. Epic Comets definitely feeling a little bit comfortable here as they're halfway through their necessary 50 mark.
17-25 now. Epic Comets are halfway to a 2-0 lead in this series, putting themselves on match point, series point. We hop on board here with One Eye Willie, consistently the top performer for this Epic Comets crew. Dally also playing super well, and look at this. Team composition, just as important as the strategy. Everybody playing their what we call 25%. When you break it down, there's 4 players. Everybody's got to play their role. Everybody's got to play their 25%. And despite Moonwalker and Oak Assassin not having as many slays as One Eye Willie and Dally, look across the column to your right in the assist column, and they have 13 collectively. So when One Eye Willie and Dally pop off, a big reason why is because Moonwalker and Oak Assassin are setting them up with those assists.
Yeah, 8, 8, and 4 for right now for Oak Assassin, really putting the emphasis on that Slayer part of his name. One Eye Willie right now, crowd favorite, caster favorite. The way they've been playing, they can definitely get that one. And staring down the barrel, well, not staring down the barrel, staring down 3 barrels is not exactly the way to inspire hope, One Eye Willie.
Don't want to be staring down the barrel of a shotgun, or in Halo's case, this shocker rifle. As we hop on board here with Dally. Had a great performance on Saturday, looking to combine it into Sunday, and I feel like this is the moment of the match right here. We're approaching the 30-point mark. You don't want to get too far behind. You can't win a match early, but you can lose it if you let it get out of hand, and the way that Putnam City can get back in this one is by making sure that camo is in hand. Who's got it?
XD. So no melee trade at the end, but Oak Assassin is still going to be able to get that. Could have made it a lot easier, but still, this boiled down and a lot slower. 10-point lead now for Epic Comets.
Dally with a 10-point lead here. You're going to see them not necessarily slow down and park the bus, but they're going to play more tower defense, tower control. They're going to hold their spaces because it's almost like a nonverbal cue to Putnam City. Y'all have to push us. It's on y'all to push us. In this battle for Oklahoma, y'all have to come back. Y'all are down 10. So that's what we're seeing here from Epic Comets, doing a great job of forcing the issue, and they do an even better job of that in real time as they take down 2 for Putnam City.
Did you just say Oklahoma and then use y'all like 5 times intentionally?
Yeah, really emphasizing the regional element.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. Winners of this, the battle for Oklahoma right here. We did not preface this correctly. Excuse me, that wasn't part of our notes here. Big, fat, massive shout out. One of our support staff, that is HSEL David out here, gives us that crucial information. So we can set this up for you. What? 2 melees. And
wow.
it's just a boxing ring over here outside of red, it seems.
Look at this, though. Epic Comets go 4 down, and I should really say Putnam City earn the 4 down, and because of it, earn the sandbox. It's the first time in this series that we've seen them in control of things like the power weapon. You can see on the bottom right of your screen, the shroud screen icon as well, so the player has the opportunity here to plant this on the camo to make it an easier grab for Putnam City. This is one that they've got to have. And I'm so curious to see who's able to grab that camo. It's a little bit of a distraction at this point. All of the attention on the PD side of the map. Again, that's the police station here on New Mombasa. As the shotgun rains out, Dolly grabs the camo, and he matches it, combines it with the shotgun instead. This could shut the door on game 2.
This is so dangerous. Now, a 15-point differential, and I gotta say, I feel like it was a little bit of a breaking point here. You mentioned it perfectly. That this is a utilization of the screen here. You have to turn this into more. As it is, headed up by that player who had the active camo, came forth there, and it was basically just a full team wipe. Might have been slow, might not have been 4 full quick, but it still was team wipe in a situation where Putnam City cannot afford to lose out on slays. Only a couple shots left there, and XD almost gets the shimmy shake done against them, but 28-43, this is closely approaching insurmountable.
I feel like the high school esports league will really appreciate this, but that's an example of needing to use the test, to take the test, use some of the context clues in previous situations and sequences to perform better down the road. Maybe even go back and erase some of your answers around the 10 or 12 question mark in a 50 question exam, which is what Team Slayer is when you play to 50. And that's the key, right? You got to use something like the shroud screen to grab the camo. And that's going to be a key component here throughout the rest of this day, is using the test to take the test.
Love that. Love that. Obviously, something that will incorporate more as these players go into college frequently. Test banks are being given by professors, right? Of course, tests being changed once their, actual test is going on. But that is something that college students have used for a very long time. And I can say that because it was happening when I was in college. You get how that goes?
Yeah, some 97 years ago for you and I think. We were in college.
Exactly. Double kill at the very end and a flashy one, the last shot right there. So, gotta call it as we see it, right? This was a strongholds map, 250 to 197, that on paper and on the map and fit a lot closer for Putnam City. 13 score difference. I can't really call that a very close Slayer match. Or excuse me, 16-point difference. 34, not 37 to 50. Can't exactly call this a super close one, right?
Yeah, and I think a big reason why you had everybody playing their role. Look at the assists there. 12 for Oak Assassin. That's incredible to earn 14 slays and then 12 assists, but it's really been the One Eye Willie show. You could make the case for having a great performance here on Championship Sunday, and we talked a little bit about that yesterday. We kind of set it up for it's so difficult to have success game to game. It's even more difficult to have success from day to day, and just so impressed with this Epic Comets crew coming here to Championship Sunday, looking just as good as they did on Saturday. Dare I say, even better. And that's so huge as we set the stage for the grand finals. If they're to move on and take on that dominant powerhouse QIR squad, they need a performance like this in the lower finals to roll on the momentum. They're setting the tone for what that grand finals might look like.
Absolutely. It's going to be a song sung here in game number 3. The name of the song will it be Epic Charters, or in 3, or is it going to be Putnam City mounting a little bit of a comeback here? The Pirates go down early in a situation that, just based on these previous matchups, Mikowski, I got to say I did not anticipate either of these squads going down down 2-0, and in the second game being even further away, more of a breakaway than the first one.
Yeah, to provide some context this weekend, we had Putnam City and Epic Comets already take on each other as foe versus foe in that winter semifinal where it went to a Game 5, which in a best-of-5 series is as far as you can go. So Epic Comets have clearly done their homework overnight. A little Saturday homework for these high school students. Impressive to see that dedication to the game from them. And that's what it takes, right? That's what it takes to have what was just a day ago a 3-2 series, now looking like could be a 3-0 sweep secured. But again, you can never hold out hope for that reverse sweep potential. Putnam City know they can do it. Putnam City have already won series in best-of-5 situations. So let's see if we can see that same ice that we saw in the Game 5 that got them here yesterday, where they were down 46-48 and still came out on top. I'm not counting them out just yet.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would say that the situations yesterday between the live fire King of the Hill, like the full 4-point comeback, right, for Bosco Tech against Putnam City, and then the next one, that's not really like a bad note in my opinion to either of these squads, to Putnam City or to Bosco Tech. That's more just like first off, big attributes to the coaching staff, and second, just how masterfully Halo Infinite has been set up to allow for comebacks like that. Eli, we're talking about it a little bit on Friday. You and I have been talking about it all day yesterday, but this game has been set up in such a way that it seems like, I use the term insurmountable lead in map number 2 right there. It seems like Halo Infinite's done a fantastic job of that never really, really being the case until a team earns it, until you're looking at like a 49 on Slayer, something like this, and that is where esports and that is where true competition lies.
Yeah, Halo is a game in year 3 where it's that meta that we discussed in the early goings has been sort of figured out a little bit. So very important to stick with it. Even if you go down, say, 2-0 in this CTF on Aquarius, that's far from over. Look how short the map is. You can see just 100 meters separating these two teams, and with how fast these super soldiers are, these Spartans are for each of these two teams, you can make that ground up pretty quickly. So, and that's part of the mental battle again, being down but not out. You have to almost will yourself back into it, and that's the case in Halo and in life.
There you go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nobody's going to do it for you on this one. You got to pull yourself up from the bootstraps, right?
Yep.
Winning a couple of 1Vs right there. Moonwalker did. Can't quite win the last one. Epic Comets goes down early 3-0. So, yeah, this is a full 4 members in Putnam City alive and well. We're looking at Met Bobcat right now, just hanging out and playing defense.
Yeah, almost setting up like a turret here. You can see the blue flag on the blue side of the map. That means you have Met Bobcat here playing a little bit of defense, which is okay. It's just like in Slayer. The early moments are a feeling out stage, and this is trouble. 3 go down for Putnam City. Epic Comets could start to roll here. They have a flag out, and it looks like if they can just get past the courtyard. Great decision here from One-Eyed Willie. Look at this. He goes down to 1 HP, and you can see his shield trickling up, and he's going to go for the toss.
Oh, no.
He goes for the toss. The teamwork! Immaculate! As Epic Comets soar for a 1-0 lead.
So explain to me what just happened there, because to me it just looks like a player, ran into the wall and then threw the flag into it.
So One-Eyed Willie, I'm so impressed by all of these players. Not only having the accuracy, but the decision making is on point in the heat of battle. So what we saw there from One-Eyed Willie, trying to get through to the courtyard, got about 10 to 20 meters away from scoring that flag as we have a battle going on in the backup blue. And now, Putnam City going to have a chance to pull, but XD's the only one alive, so that's going to make it more difficult. But what we saw there from One-Eyed Willie was them going into the courtyard. They got down to 1 HP, which means you're one good headshot from that Bandit DMR, which is what we see on screen here, would have put One-Eyed Willie down in the dirt. So instead, they found cover, bottom mid, and rotated back to the flag at the perfect time when they had their shields recharging. It takes 6 seconds to go from no shields to full shields. And because One-Eyed Willie can't, these are super soldiers, but you can't super jump up to the top like we saw there. So instead, he tosses it up to his teammate Moonwalker, who walks it in. That was just unbelievable high-level Halo being played here from Epic Comets. Because of it, they have the 1-0 lead in Game 3.
Yeah, so just kind of getting that flag in a situation where the player up top can actually receive it and then turn around. Yeah, may have died immediately afterwards. Yeah, that was an early flag cap, though. Speaking of flag caps, we're on board with Oak Assassin, running this one down. Trying to get it through their left side right here. This is a very impactful 1v1. Dolly wins it. So the defense holds strong for Epic Comets while the offense trying to make a play happen on the other side of the field, other side of the map.
I think field is fair.
Okay.
This is an arena. This is a battle taking place here between 2 incredibly gifted and talented squads. It's Epic Comets edging out a 1-0 lead. The early portion of the game, because of the 12-minute timer, Tugboat. I like to break it down into thirds. You got the beginning game, the mid game, and the end game. So the beginning game is over. We're in the mid game now, and it just gets more and more crucial the deeper we get into this match.
Yeah. So Epic Comets got a stamp on the beginning game, the early game here with a 1-0 lead. Now it'll be up to Putnam City to take the lead back, or at least tie it up, and push us into that accurately named in-game. We're on board with Dally right now, just trying to back a little bit. That was a frag grenade that almost rang true, but now getting aggressive here is Epic Comets. Almost didn't check his corners right there. You saw that. Maybe a frame or two over to the side, and did see Met Bobcat. So this is going to set up Oak Assassin for another fantastic run. Now, even just one extra shot right here on the OS is just so important, isn't it?
Yeah, look at this. Whether it's the camo, which cloaks you in transparency, or I should say translucency, or the overshield, which gives you double the shields. The power-up control has been the difference maker in this series. Like we said, look at the slays. They're pretty even across the board. Nobody's really running away with a wild plus 10 or 15 situation. So the skill level is very evenly matched here in this series. The difference has been sandbox control, map control, which Epic Comets have more of.
Yeah, gotta agree. A lot of this comes off the back of 13-5 performance, 14-5 performance as of right now, almost tripling up. Oak Assassin 1 kill away from doubling up. Moonwalker even, One-Eye Willie paying attention to the OBJ a little bit more, got a flag cap in the pocket. On board now with Met Bobcat, trying to pay attention we are to the Putnam City defense right here and seeing if they can maybe take at least one here in the mid-game to go into the end-game with only a 1-score deficit.
Approaching halftime here. at the 6-minute mark. And now might be a time for where Putnam City off spawn starts to send out the troops a little bit further past where they've been playing with that defensive effort. Now, it's going to open up things like this, another flag run for Epic Comets, but it's that risk-reward factor you have to take into account. You have to take into account the score, the situation, the positioning, the time left in this game. So, would like to see Putnam City push down on the pedal a little bit here, if you will. And look at this. This is exactly what they're doing.
There you go. Just pay attention to the players on
And now
high.
they have
OS. Yep, you're not going to beat that as easily, and that's going to be not. You can't really call it a trade when one of these comes out on top. Now Oak Assassin might be one shot, but pretty much everybody on the other side is deceased or respawning as of right now, or they have respawned in a position they couldn't possibly get to. Blitzel on the other side, no frag grenades mailed in there. I feel like this is one of those pepperable areas, one of those pepperable rooms when it comes to frag grenades.
Yeah, Aquarius, a map that is known as the fast track. It's also got a lot of tight, small rooms to work with. You can see one of those here in the generator. Look at this hallway. Imagine a grenade tinks around the corner. You don't have to have good accuracy in that situation to deal out some damage. So the grenades have been a key component in this match as well.
Really has. Speaking of top planters here, trying to find a way, and oh, nicely done. Much higher as One Eye Willie takes advantage of that one to go even 13-13. Now getting aggressive with it. That's Met Bobcat getting a little what's who. One Eye Willie and the Epic Comets go down 2-all right here. Met Bobcat continuously playing this defense here. Now, talk to me a little bit about how, kind of you feel like the roles should go here, because it kind of seems like Met Bobcat has been relegated back to defend the Putnam City flag.
I think everybody's got to turn into a tip-of-the-spear offensive player here. And that's tough. This has got to give credit to Epic Comets, right? With this situation, with the score, they're essentially forcing Putnam City to all play the same role, which in Halo doesn't really work from a theoretical perspective, but it's the situation it's the hand that's been dealt. It's the situation that's been forced on them here, and it's a reason why we see One-Eyed Willie running another flag in, potentially 3-0 with less than 4 to go. Putnam City aren't out. They are down for now.
So at a certain point, I know I was talking about insurmountable leads earlier. It is, if you're running flag, right, and you're down, then the timer will not strike 0, and you still technically can, but, then you have to have setups for them picking it up on the other side, immediately, going 3 scores back-to-back. It is practically unheard of, even on a small map here like Aquarius, right?
Yeah, optimal time to score is about 15 seconds, so even if they do go down 0-4, which it looks like they will, the 1-minute mark would be when the clock starts to strike midnight for Cinderella.
Yeah, and that is, of course, literally,
here we go.
Hey, this is, okay, so this is a fantastic start. Okay, this is, oh, man, that's such a lucky, I'm not going to call it lucky spawn because the shots were earned right there, but very unlucky for Epic Comets. How about that one? And that is also, 15 seconds per, that's basically with the Epic Comet squad putting their controllers down too, right? That is a very, very, very hard.
To a degree, yes. It would involve that 15 seconds is considering optimal efficiency.
Yeah.
Solid efficiency would be at about the 30-second mark. So you're starting to get towards that area where you got to play perfect Halo, and that's really heartbreaking. Previously, we saw a good run there from Putnam City, but weren't able to put it through. Now Epic Comets looking to shut the door. A 5-0 victory. They'll have to reset that flag. Their flag is out from their home base. That's why you see Dally going to the back of it. Just waiting for that reset to occur. Give credit to Putnam City, though. They've had multiple flags out. And look at this. Lightskin's last player alive. Gets the reset in the back of the flag. This could potentially spur a comeback. Who knows?
That's 2 resets right here on both sides. So a fantastic job from that Putnam City player, a Pirate, not giving up. Their push, encouragement for that flag here. Fantastic stuff.
One Eye has had the top frag performance. Now with the top objective performance, 23 slays, the most in the lobby, 3 scores, the most in the lobby, looking like the MVP performer of that lower finals, earning Epic Comets a spot in the grand finals of your HSEL Nationals.
Yeah, so a stronghold that starts out pretty evenly, right? A run of 53 or
Very,
so for
very
Putnam
even.
City. That is not outside the realm of easy possibility. 34 to 50 starts to break away a little bit. 5-0 on the CTF. That is as bad as it gets, unfortunately. Putnam City, the number 2 seed. We will be congratulating them on $1,000 scholarship money going on in towards them to help these students further higher education. Now, whether that's in college or whether that's within the esports program there at Putnam City, that is up to them. A big clap on the back and a congratulations here to Epic Charter. They have punched their ticket to the grand finals.
Hey, you get those textbooks paid for. You get a couple peripherals maybe paid for. The controllers or mouse and keyboard you can use to not only play the game but also study up on some quizzes, exams, and homework. Love to see that. Big ups to Putnam City. They bow out, but not without a little bit of sponsorship. Scholarship prize money, which is wonderful to see. We've had top of mind great sponsors throughout the event. They're the ones who make things like that possible. So big ups to not only Putnam City but our sponsors as well for making this all possible.
Speaking of the sponsors, speaking of the folks that make competitions just like this one possible, we're talking about the MSEL. You're watching the HSEL, that's High School Esports League. The imagination shouldn't be too tough to get it. MSEL, excuse me. The Middle School Esports League. Guys, you can discover the exciting world of youth esports within the Middle School Esports League, the MSEL. The MSEL is where you can play your favorite games, make new friends, and develop those valuable skills for the future. Mikowski, we were talking so much yesterday about what competitions like this afford young people, right? The ability to work with others in a classic like teammate kind of format. We've been talking about traditional sports and drawing allusions there the entire weekend for a reason. The ability to get coached and lastly the ability to come forth and take the most out of the kind of support that these schools are providing them. Good news is it starts in middle school here. Learn more about teamwork, communication, and good sportsmanship, all within safe and secure and structured seasons. Don't miss out on the action. Find out about how your school can get involved by visiting msel.gg to start your esports journey today for your middle school. Absolutely love it.
Love it. You got things like after school programs. You got football, basketball programs. Why not get in the mix with your middle school and get involved in something like this? It's just, I'm telling you, as someone who played high school football all the way up to potentially going to college football level, if it weren't for blowing out my knee, the old sob story for a lot of Texas high school athletes.
Arrow to the knee.
Halo, yeah, right. Halo was my way to still compete at a high level in college, and I found that through competitive esports. So yeah, I can't say enough about what it means to the growth and development of these young up-and-coming students. And we talk a lot about the in-game, right? Most of the yapping we're doing throughout the day is yelling about the in-game activities, but, man, it's the out-of-game activities, getting that barbecue sandwich like you said the other day, watching back the VOD, the video on demand, the replay of the matches and having a laugh about a huge moment or a pop-off moment where you had a triple kill or, I don't know, maybe fell off the map, right? You can enjoy that as well, kind of have some fun with those memories. And I think that's just as important as the in-game stuff. And our sponsors make sure to provide that opportunity with things like the MSEL.
Yeah, seriously. A big shout out to Oakley, the eyewear company, of course. Intel, they make some of the highest
we
in
probably know a little bit about those
hardware.
guys.
yeah, exactly right. And of course, Valor
pretty
being the esports trading and whatnot. Yeah, so some fantastic sponsors and make competitions just like this one possible. Sorry about that, Mikowski. I think I cut you off.
No. I was just saying, you're mentioning these great, wonderful brands, and it's just super cool to see them get behind something like this because, like we talked about yesterday, competitive esports still in the quote-unquote leather helmets era of what we're doing here, and when you have sponsors like that come in to support things like this, it almost like extends us 2 years, 3, 4, 5 down the timeline, and legitimizes what is something that a lot of people have a lot of love and passion for.
That was the best term that I came up with yesterday that I felt like best accurately describe it, legitimizes. And also, leather helmet. Parents, I can guarantee the Tugboat Promise, none of your children will get CTE from playing in these competitions here on the day. Not a single one. Outside of something crazy. We're joking around, of course. There
You
is a
bring up a
lot to be
great
said
point.
for these differences. Mikowski,
You,
please.
you bring up a great point. Like I said, I played football at the high school level, all district here in Dallas, Texas. So, not that I have regrets about that, but yeah, my body here 15 years after that is taking a hit from competing in those sports, man. It takes a brutal toll on your physical body and your mental as well to compete in those traditional sports. Not saying that you shouldn't do both, because I think variety is the spice of life. I think
Yes.
competing in both esports and traditional sports is probably what I would think, if I had a son or daughter, would be the best way to go about
Optimal.
throwing them into competition, teaching them those life lessons that come with it. But yeah, absolutely so. There's no physical risk in something like esports, and the mental development, the hardship, the adversity you go through is just the same as what you experience in something like football or basketball. So it's something I've considered even myself as someone who used to play football. I have to think like, man, would that be something I'd want my son or daughter to do after the pain I had to endure from it? So again, no knock on football, great life experience, still love the game, but almost wish at the high school level I was doing more 50-50. It was probably 90-10 sports to traditional sports, and I think 50-50 is the way to go.
It's 100% true. Folks, it is very, very important to realize that Mikowski and I are not talking down on traditional sports at all. We're just talking a little bit about our own personal experiences and how what you're literally watching right now, folks, is so much more inclusive. The risk, I mean, anything you do in life, has a shade, a percentage, something of risk, right? I guess you could. You could talk about like eye strain. You talked about that a little bit yesterday with some of the eyeglasses. You could talk about carpal tunnel syndrome. These are nothing. This is a molehill versus a mountain. When you talk about health issues, we've been talking about football specifically. That there are a laundry list of traditional sports. You get your basketball, you're talking about knee, ankle injuries and stuff like this. You get into baseball, now you're talking about Tommy John surgeries or pitchers messing up their elbows. Like, there are so many more just like graphically more serious health injuries that can come from traditional sports than esports. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying that esports, that's not exactly a thing. And if you have a willingness to compete, the ability to play, a function of your hands, right? And you have a school that provides you the support to get to the competition, then literally anybody can do it. That's all we're saying.
Just
okay.
Think about it just from a pure development standpoint. Someone in high school could compete on the professional level in competitive gaming. That's not the case in any traditional sport. I don't think anyone in high school is going to step on the field of an NFL stadium, right? They might in a few years down the road, sure. Yes. But hey, like the opportunity is now. Carpe diem, seize the day, right? Yeah. So I think that's important to note. You could be in high school, and through things like the coaching sessions and other programs like we talked about, you could be at that professional level not too far down the road. So the opportunities, especially so when you talk about the inclusivity, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what your background is. Everybody can compete on the same playing field, which is probably the coolest thing about it, right? Like in traditional sports, someone can be 6'4", someone can be 5'4", and somebody can be 180, somebody can be 225. Here in Halo, for example, everybody is in their Spartan suit. They're all the same height, have the same 40 time, if you will, for example. So it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. It's all about what you have up here between the mind and between the thumbs. That's exactly right. So just more reasons to get behind something like competitive esports. And again, like you're talking about, don't completely ditch traditional sports. Yeah. I would just vouch for having a bit of both.
A more even split here, folks. It's fair to say, especially with esports being as new as it is, that the support, obviously has been there for various. I mean, baseball, literally, you're going back to like the 1880s or something like that. And then other, the Super Bowl era of football being like since like the I guess early 60s into now 63, I think, into right now, right? These are long storied traditional franchise sports and whatnot. We're just looking at a situation, an ideal situation. That mean like the world if XYZ, right, with like flying cars and everything else like that. The
We'll get there
Mikowski and I are
someday.
talking about like a nice even 50-50 split, not traditional sports going anywhere, just esports getting like a little bit more on that legitimization level, and that's exactly what's going on right now. The competitions
who's a
like
great
this one in
example
front
of that?
you folks. Who's a great example?
Luka Doncic. Timely example of that. He is competing in the NBA Finals, the pinnacle of basketball competition. Luka Doncic will be participating in the next week. This week, I believe. I believe June 6th is when it starts up. You know what he does in his free time?
NBA
You know what he
Finals,
does
yeah.
to keep his mind sharp? He plays Overwatch. Not only does he
Have you
play
seen that clip?
Overwatch,
Like
he's a top 500 Overwatch player,
Yep.
top 500 in the world. So I can't think of a better example of the benefits you can actually bring to your traditional sports game by participating. Because, again, the physicality, right? Like, you can't physically play basketball or anything for 12 hours a day. You can split that up, maybe like 6 and 2 to 4, 2 to 6 hours, split it up, right? So I think that's a great example of that. Luka Doncic actually shared that Instagram photo, I believe it was, of his ranking, and it's almost like he's just as proud of getting top 500 as he is getting into the NBA Finals. So
Heck,
great example of that.
I would be, yeah. Folks, if you, we are waiting for an interview here from our Epic Charter squad. We're just kind of waxing a little bit philosophical with you guys until we do get there. It's an amazing clip, and watching Luka like go on this squad. It's on Nambani, for anybody who plays Overwatch, and one of his teammates like, "Hey, yo, man, what do you do?" And Luka's like, I play basketball, and this is like 2 weeks ago. Dallas Mavericks, obviously, in the NBA Finals as of right now. That'll start here and soon, right? So, just watch it, or like listening to, I guess I should say, his teammates kind of like slowly like process. He was like, "Hey, what team's like? The Mavericks, one of the top 4 teams in the NBA at that point before the finals had been figured out." And watching his teammates' minds just like melt, right? Like
they actually asked him. They said, like, what are your hobbies? What do you do?" And he's like, "I like basketball as well." Yeah. And he's very deadpan about it. Not going too crazy. I think trying to be a little incognito. And then they asked, "Oh, what team do you play for? Do you play varsity?" And he goes, "The Mavericks." And then, like you said, the wheels start to spin in his teammates' minds, and they're like, "Wait, like the Dallas Mavericks?" And then they just further ask him questions to kind of because anybody could say they're Luka Doncic, right? But
anybody,
he ends up answering something that was very specific to him, and the moment where they're like, "Oh my gosh, we're playing with Luka Doncic!" It's a really cool viral clip that's out there somewhere on the internet.
Yeah.
Go check it out. Probably just Google Luka Doncic Overwatch clip. And you'll get to see exactly what we're talking about. But yeah, that's a really cool moment. And I know a lot of athletes, even professionally, that compete at the highest level. They supplement that with esports, and they also, let's just be honest, it's a little bit safer and better use of your time to just stay at home, right? Like it's fun, right? Go out, have your fun, and have your real life experiences. Touch grass, as we say in the gaming space, right? It's important to do both again, to get outside, to get some fresh air. But a lot of even professional athletes, just to keep their minds sharp and to stay absolutely 100% laser focused on the task at hand, they'll just stay home and fire up some Halo. So we're talking about not only we're waxing philosophical, which we are, but we're also providing you guys with some real life examples right here in the here and now. And I think it'll only grow as we get into the future. Gaming is still extremely early. Competitive gaming is still very early. And I think that hybrid professional athlete, professional gamer that we're seeing, that's not going to be a rare occurrence here in the near future. It's already happening with guys like Luka Doncic, who's, again, the MVP for his team that's going to the NBA Finals. So it's such a cool story that we're referencing there.
You really don't get much better than that, right? I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? They've set up so much gaming wise. Every single NBA team has a 2K team as well. This was a requirement for them as of like 4 years ago or so. There were a couple of kind of later holdouts, and it would be fair to say that some of the clubs are not necessarily supported. Some of them, some of the clubs are far more winning just like within the NBA, right? For the 2K league right there, but it's still set up, right? The owner of the Patriots, Robert Kroenke? How do you
Kraft,
say his
I think.
name?
Stan Kroenke, Robert Kraft.
I'm thinking of Stan. Yep, you're 100% right. Stan Kroenke over there with LA. own the Los Angeles Guardian, or the L.A. Guardians, right? The Overwatch League team also had an investment there within the COD. Just like you said, the Boston Patriots under Robert Kraft out there with the Boston Breach doing things for
Yep.
Overwatch as well.
Yep.
Like these are not individual circumstances anymore. These are not necessarily like, oh, this guy's a progenitor, this guy is a head, a forefront, a pioneer of the traditional sports esports fuse, right? That is simply not the case anymore. In 2024, there is almost more participation on the top level of these individual traditional sports than not. I got to sit
Yep.
down. I mean, and then you start talking about the athletes themselves. Injuries on the field happen. Injuries on the court, field, pitch, whatever happen, right? Now you're talking about players that can come home, sit down on the couch, and play as accurate a representation, accurate a simulation as you can
Mental reps.
possibly get as themselves,
Yep.
right?
Mental.
On the field and getting reps right here, and especially from that top up look, like you a running back, right? I got to sit down with Ramondre Stevenson of the New England Patriots like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, right? He came forth and played a Madden tournament. Like he lives in Las Vegas.
cool.
He's a resident here. Went to high school in Northside. So he came in to support, played everything else like that, got up to the top four, and I talked with him and asked him, was like, have you ever loaded into the game as yourself? And he's like, not only have I done that, that is something that we do, and is something we are prepared for in the likely event in professional football of an injury. Now you're literally talking about real world experience for a player playing a game that most people play with their buddies on Saturdays from the couch, right?
Yep.
Now you're talking about a real, tens of millions of dollars paid starting player in the NFL who's sitting down. He was not injured. Obviously hope that never happens. But would be theoretically sitting down with a knee injury and a shoulder injury, concussion, whatever it is, sitting down playing as Ramondre Stevenson on the pitch with his virtual coach right there. And the next level there is that you can actually put in your own plays, right? You can actually go into these modes now, and he could literally go and get information from his head coach as far as what plays he wants to play against whatever defensive plays he wants to set up on the field. It's like, I might be getting up in arms about this a little bit, Mikowski, but it's such an interesting, amazing time to live right now. Listening, I'm very, very happy. I got you. Blessed him. I've been able to sit down with Ramondre Stevenson.
That sounds awesome. I'm jealous.
Oh, thank you. Again, very, very, very grateful. Awesome guy. Very, very easy to talk to. Very, very great conversationalist. You know what I'm saying? And he's a gamer.
Yeah, no, you bring up NBA 2K, so I got a personal anecdote on that. I actually used to scrimmage back in 2005 against the guy that runs the NBA 2K league now.
Oh.
And he reached out and was like, hey, you were the only team that beat me in scrimmages online, so I remember you from that. How would you like to get involved with NBA 2K? So I got involved with NBA 2K, and what I learned from my experience with that is that the NBA views NBA 2K players the exact same as NBA players. The same doctor in the NBA works with the same players in NBA 2K. So the exact same resources that the NBA dedicate towards their actual real-world players, guys like, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, go towards guys that are playing as the virtual version of them. It is entirely 100% integrated with NBA 2K. So, yeah, you talk about worlds colliding. I think that's a great example of it right there.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, there's no realistic situation in say within any NBA, any Madden game where I'm a running back now, I'm a receiver now, and all this other stuff within the normal aspect of the game, right? You can set it so that you play this one player all the time, all the way through, and that's a whole different level of training and whatnot, right? And then we look at it on the flip side, right? How does it look like when I do XYZ for my teammates? Now, this is so much more impactful for 2K stuff, right? Only 5 players on a basketball court at any given time. When is another example, you can watch film of yourself all day long, right? That is not, in my opinion, and I haven't sat down with a 2K player, maybe you have and talked to them about this, but I don't feel like that is in any way, shape, that's not in the same ballpark as playing as a teammate and watching yourself do the thing that you've done 10,000 times is now being simulated accurately within a video game, within a cutting edge 2024 video game, right? There's no way to accurately represent that. You can watch game film all day long.
Right.
We're talking about real world experiences where video games are helping professional athletes at the highest level.
Yeah, you can only watch so much film, right? Once the game ends, whether you're in it or watching it back, the game is over, right? There's only so much VOD review that you can do or film review that you can do. So I think interesting to note, too, when I worked with one of these NBA 2K teams, after every single play in a scrimmage, our captain would clip it on Twitch and then watch it back in the mid-game. So if it's a best of 3 or best of 5, after game 1, he'd have the clips lined up from that previous game and say, here's what we're doing right, here's what we're doing wrong. So the combination of the two and the parallels are unbelievable. So, again, in that theory, in that kind of line of thought towards, wow, how real is this becoming? How legitimate is this becoming? I think those are all incredible examples of that.
Yeah, and real world examples of how the benefits with which esports is affecting all of these traditional sports. They are more numerous than we can count right now, folks. We're just waiting for a couple of players to get on it, or not a couple of players to get in here. For one player to get on in here and get on the interview. I'm not 100% sure how long we're going to wait for this one and when we'll get the grand final started, but we'll wait a little longer. How about that? And in the meantime, I want to talk to you about some of the sponsors, partners, and make this possible. Intel. Now, the High School Esports League is brought to you by Intel. Thanks to Intel support, the HSEL, the High School Esports League, is able to offer high school students across the nation an unparalleled esports experience. Now, this is from all kinds of cutting-edge technologies to very, very thrilling competitions, just like this one. Intel is fueling the future of high school esports. Now, you guys can discover how Intel sparks innovation and pushes the boundaries of possibilities over there at intel.com. Oakley next. The HSEL Nationals 2024 is presented by Oakley. I believe we have this side over here. I believe we have an Oakley enjoyer here on the desk. Is that correct?
Oh, excuse me. You're pointing at me.
Yes,
I'm so sorry. I thought you were pointing at one of the players. I am so sorry. Yes, a huge Oakley fan. I wear it when I drive around in the car. But I'm pretty interested if Oakley's watching. I'm pretty interested in trying out their gaming gear. I don't wear the gaming glasses when I'm watching. Probably should. I don't know why I don't. But when I'm playing, we talked about, again, my experience playing high school football. There's something about tying up the cleats, putting on the helmet, and strapping it on that just puts you into go mode. Gaming glasses are like that for me. Something like the Oakley gaming glasses are something like that for me. And when you put them on, it just feels like go time. So I'm a big fan of that. Not only the fact that they prevent and have that preventative measure towards maintaining your eyes throughout the decades that you'll probably want to be gaming, right? I mean, it's awesome. I don't ever want to stop. But also, in the here and now, I do believe that you have a little bit more color pop, a little bit more clear view of the game. And gosh, everybody's spending so much money on things like better frame rate, better field of view, better quality, fidelity. We have 4K monitors and 240 frames. You can now get up to 500 frames, something like that. Why would you not get the Oakley frames to mirror and match that line of thought? So, yeah, huge fan of what Oakley's doing with the gaming glasses. We actually saw Lucid today in the Halo Championship Series London Major. Oakley's Optic Gaming got to the grand finals. Maybe they got there because of the little Oakley buff.
The Oakley buff. I love that. It's something we'll have to talk about in the future. What kind of an effect that has. But that's actually a absolutely fantastic point, Mikowski. We spend all this money, right? I have multiple monitors up, right? All of them are millisecond delays. All of them are all kinds of filters and stuff like this. All of them are the V-Sync capable and everything else like that. How much, folks, have you spent on your eyes? These two things right here sunken into your head that you're never going to get to replace ever, right? Like,
yep. Yeah, you can replace the monitor. You're probably going to do that every couple of years. With those eyeballs, those are yours for life. So, yeah, it's kind of wild when you think about it from that. Maybe that's probably why Oakley got into gaming glasses, which is, I've always known them as a sunwear company, right? So
sunglasses.
They probably thought the same thing. It's like, well, people are spending $500 for these monitors. Why not spend a percentage of that on your physical monitors, I guess, if you will, with the eyes. So
The
yeah, it
physical
makes perfect
monitors, I
sense,
love
and
that.
they look super rad too. Actually, Lucid, season 1 MVP of the Halo Championship Series, he was wearing those on the main stage, and I've only ever seen glasses where the frames just go straight back, right? Oakley has this sick design where it like has like it like goes up and down, and it looks so cool. I again, I would love a pair Oakley. If you guys are watching, I would be more than down to wear those when I stream and cast all of these Halo matches. So yeah, big fan of what Oakley's doing, and all of our sponsors, Intel as well. I mean, Intel is. I just built my own PC a couple months ago, and I got all Intel equipment in there, and man, the PC and these glasses are really an extension of your true self, your true physical self. So could not thank enough the sponsors. And again, if you guys ever want to send some some goodie bags my way, I will gladly accept.
Absolutely. Hey, any sunglasses here? And the FBI will definitely take them here as well. Wanted to talk to you guys about Valor as we wait here just for a minute for player to get on in and hopefully get us a little interview action. Valor, elevate your school's esports training. The Valor training platform offers a premier experience tailored for players at all levels. Valor's platform, ensures effective skill development and progress tracking with structured roadmaps, categorized learning, and interactive quizzes. Generation Esports schools who join Valor before June 30th will receive the summer holiday period completely free. FREE. Free is for me. Giving students the perfect opportunity to train and level up during the break. Empower your esports athletes with Valor's superior training and educational support, so don't miss out. Book a call. Make a call with your HSEL or MSEL rep to learn more today. We've got it accurate. Production has promised me. We have this figured out. Let's get it on in here and get this player on in. We have a player coming on in here from the Epic Charter Squad to come on and give us a minute of their time post-win here, Mikowski.
All right, ready to get some first eye perspective. And no pun intended on the eyes. We got One Eye Willie joining us. Let's go. One of the top performers yesterday, Friday, and especially so today. One Eye Willie, welcome to the stream. Talk us through that lower finals and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Caden. I'm One Eye Willie. I play Epic. I see it's Putnam City down there. I don't need my name.
I do. Well, maybe you just claimed.
Yeah,
you
we're just using the logo.
You claimed Putnam City with the win there in the lower finals. So yeah, putting on for the Epic Charter Schools, dude. You had a crazy triple kill yesterday on Solitude. Talk me through that play and what led to it.
It was really just my team helping me with that and some luck involved. But I don't know. Getting kind of nervous.
Well, you lined up the shot and you hit it.
Totally good.
Yeah.
You're totally
So
good.
that was super impressive. No worries. Talk us through the experience competing in the HSEL. What's it like? Because Tugboat and I were talking. This is something we would have loved to have had when we were high school students. What's it been like to be a part of something like this with the HSEL?
It's really fun playing with your friends on this whenever you can, and just having fun opponents to play all the time. It's enjoyable, enjoyable experience, I would say. But that's about it, yeah.
Oh, no, I love that. I love that. We've been talking so much about the value that competitions like this bring young people. I'm very, very glad to hear that. Now, One Eye Willie, it was Sam before, it was Eli, it was Old Man Mikowski after Eli. We've been consistently going on with the name competitions, our favorite names in the lobby, right? And One Eye Willie is frequently, very, very frequently, a finalist there for favorite name. I gotta ask, we finally got you in the booth here. Where did this name come from?
My dad, whenever he was little, he watched the Goonies. He made the name. And then whenever I was little, I always played PS4, which had One Eye Willie on it. So whenever I made an Xbox account, I just brought it over.
Very cool. Yeah, we assumed yesterday that the One Eye Willie reference was to the Goonies, and we just assumed you had awesome parents that introduced you to the Goonies. What's it like having that kind of support from your mom and dad? And did they introduce you to gaming?
Yeah, my dad did. Whenever I was 4, I played Call of Duty, Black Ops 1. My mom, she doesn't really play games, but we played Diablo 3 with her sometimes. They're not really big on Halo, so they haven't played that.
Well, maybe a championship here could get them a little bit more interested in Halo. What are your thoughts going into the grand finals? Have you played against this QIR squad before? They seem like they're the favorites, but what you guys have shown us recently, I think you guys got a good chance. How are you feeling going into the grand finals?
I think we got a good chance of doing it if we just have our teamwork up, or having good teamwork. It was all close games. I feel like we could all win it. I feel like we have I say like a 40% chance of winning, maybe even higher. But yeah, I'm confident going in.
I love that. I love that. The confidence here is always crucial within these esports competitions or any kind of competitions. Reaching towards the end of this interview now here, One Eye Willie, very much appreciate your time yet again. I want to ask, college stuff after high school. Obviously, we want to set all of our student athletes up here, student e-athletes, whatever you want to call them, right? So up here for success. What is One Eye Willie looking at the future of his esports career?
I really want to play Halo in college, if I can, but I'm looking at colleges that offer Halo as an esports. But I found more like 1 or 2 colleges that I would like to go to, but
Yeah, the
names
collegiate
hoping I
scene
can
is
get in.
the collegiate scene is just as flushed out and well thought out as it seems like the high school esports league is. I actually have casted. I don't want to cost, right? You never want to cost in game, but I casted the collegiate championships for the spring semester just a few weeks ago, and my gosh, there was a ton of teams involved in that. So yeah, check that out, One Eye Willie. I think you absolutely have what it takes, man. Your gameplay has been so incredible. Not really a question here, but I've had a blast watching you play this weekend. You've really been putting on a show and making it fun for me and Tugboat to cast. So thank you for that.
Thank you all for casting. You got some good casters.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I think we say some cool stuff sometimes. One Eye Willie, congratulations on the technical upset 3-seed Epic Charter beating the 2-seed Putnam City, and good luck, sir, in the grand finals.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Not a problem. FBI Tugboat, oh man, Mikowski, we are going to go to a quick break while we get this one set up, folks. Get your waters, check your postures, right? Text your mom. Why not? When was the last time you talked to her, right? And we'll be back with you guys in just a little bit.
A mini esports arena in our county so we can have district competitions, and it will be done by this summer. So we're hoping to start streaming with a full commentator's desk and have students commentate our matches, and we're hoping to create some sort of Twitch channel. We haven't done it yet, but next year we'll definitely try and do some streaming and district competitions. If you search QI Roberts on Instagram or Facebook, they're always supportive and shouting us out whenever we do something cool.
I love it. Like, I know a lot of people from other schools that I talk to, they envy us in a sense because they wish they had an opportunity to be able to be with your friends and compete. Even talk to my parents, they're like, wow, I wish we had that when we were younger. So it's a cool opportunity for sure.
I would have probably never became friends with these people if I didn't join it. They're really cool. They're actually fun to hang out with.
We got the hang of it pretty quick, and yeah, Generation Esports is a pretty decent website, I will say. The queuing is easy, you can figure out what time you want to play, and it's all around just super fun talking with other people from other schools.
I can't have the same skill as most of these kids do in 16 different games. You know, it's just not going to happen. So we find ways to be supportive as mentors, as tutors. Anything that the kids need is what we're doing to try to help them not just feel like we are there for them, but also we're promoting and we're building them up as human beings.
all of these different types of kids can come together and they work together, and it's just so fun to see them winning together. So my name is Lori Burney. I'm with Geyer High School and from Denton, Texas, so part of Denton ISD. There is a future in it. You can go to school and get a scholarship with it. You can go into so many different areas and aspects of esports, leads to game design, computer science fields, and I just think that it's pretty limitless, what they could do. And it's our job as the adults and the educators to kind of, help guide them through, these different avenues that they want to go through and explore. Now our district has passed a bond where they're actually going to put $500,000 towards building esport labs in all of our 5 zones. So we're really excited about that and how they're going to build it out. And that may never have happened had, this group not have, persisted and, kept at it to continue to play and put Geyer, Texas or Den, Texas on the map. Me coming from the outside, not ever playing Rocket League, but taking the time to sit back and learn and absorb as much as I could, it wasn't hard for me to see all of the different aspects that transcend, just beyond, esports in general. It goes across every plane.
You can use Valor's training platform to bring professional esports into the classroom, and I'm going to show you how in 30 seconds. First up, let's choose the training camp that's right for me. Our platform is inclusive of all experience levels, so there's a range of choices. Here you can see a structured training roadmap. Let's start our first session. Now I can scaffold my esports teams using learning, quizzes, and training. See, wasn't even 30 seconds. You focus on play, we'll do the rest. Sign up for free today at valoresports.com and take your program to the next level.
People love Generation Esports. As the world of esports continues to grow, whether you're a teacher, student, or coach, Generation Esports is here to deliver solutions for any of your gaming-based interests. Our services work together, from competitive opportunities with scholarships to our innovative gaming concepts curriculum. We aim to give schools a premium experience inside and outside of the classroom. But don't take our word for it. Hear it from our community.
All of these different types of kids can come together and they work together, and it's just so fun to see them winning together.
A lot of our students are looking for different things to get involved in, and what better way to get involved in something like esports.
I've had the privilege of getting to implement gaming concepts into the curriculum just this past semester. There's the competitive side of things, there's the content creation, there's the hardware, there's the business side of things that's on there. There's something for everyone.
Esports is definitely the period to look forward to every day.
Esports has really changed it where students are now able to, who might have just got home and not had something to do, now they can stay after school, they can be engaged in something that makes them motivated to come to school.
I've been teaching the gaming concepts class here at Lyons High School this semester. The kids have responded really well to the curriculum. HSEL has provided invaluable opportunities for our students. They can compete in national esports leagues and tournaments, learn about esports careers and opportunities, and it's helped our club expand and grow. Esports is sometimes the one thing that keeps students engaged in school that would otherwise skip school or not do homework. Esports is still a new frontier, but you don't have to venture out alone. The Generation Esports team is here to deliver the perfect blend of education and competition. Schedule a call today to find out how we can bring the power of gaming to your classroom. Hello there, gamers and mental health enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into a groundbreaking study that explores the intersection of scholarly gaming and mental health education and how it can impact the self-esteem of adolescents. Picture this, a world where scholarly gaming isn't just about mastering technology-based career skills or dominating the world of video game business. No, it's a world where gaming becomes a gateway to improving mental health. 3 visionary educators and a school-based health intervention expert came together to create a curriculum that aligns with academic guidelines from the International Society for Technology Education. This curriculum spans 40 lessons, delivered over 14 weeks with a minimum of 120 minutes per week. But here's the twist. 83 schools were invited to participate, but they were divided into 2 groups, those with mental health moments and those without. The non-mental health moment group got the scholarly gaming curriculum alone, while the mental health moment group got an extra layer of education. Mental health moments were embedded into 27 lessons, integrating concepts from the PERMA framework and the collaborative academic, social, and emotional learning standards, otherwise known as CASEL. Now, let's meet our players. 471 participants from both groups, with almost 75% in high school. many experiencing scholarly gaming for the first time. A majority were male, and the racial diversity was broad. At the start, the average self-esteem score was 17.9, with 22.1% reporting low self-esteem. But hold on, the game's just beginning. As the study progressed, it revealed some fascinating results. While 57.7% of participants with low self-esteem at the beginning reported average self-esteem post-intervention, the Mental Health Moments group stole the spotlight. Self-esteem scores improved by 8.3% in the Mental Health Moments group, compared to no change in the non-Mental Health Moments group. How's that for a power-up? Some students even shifted from abnormally low self-esteem scores to normal ranges. The message is loud and clear. Educators, healthcare providers, and adolescent advocates pay attention. Non-traditional educational instructions, like scholarly gaming, combined with mental health moments, can significantly improve students' well-being. And there you have it, a journey through the power of scholarly gaming and mental health moments. Remember, your self-esteem matters, and sometimes all it takes is a little extra support to level up. Thanks for joining us on this adventure. Until next time, keep gaming, keep learning, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself.
One of the big questions that we had when we started was, what else do we want to do with this lab? And that's the question I think you have to ask yourself before you make that kind of a decision. In our case, we knew that we wanted to run additional stuff, right? Whether that would be animation software or we wanted to run video editing software. And some of those can be really resource hungry, more so than even esports is. So if you get a really good gaming PC, you can do a lot with it outside of that realm. And that was one of the selling points when we went to district with this idea, is that, you know, the esports, I think they were okay with. They thought it was a good idea. But then when you start saying we can run animation, we can run all these other things, now all of a sudden bells and whistles start going off. So Kyle's advice of buying a little more than you need is good, because you never know when you're going to need that extra horsepower, and you don't want to get stuck upgrading and realizing that you bought a little shorter than what you wanted for the different software applications or the different courses you wanted to teach in there. So that would be my best advice.
Hop in, get active, show up. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to show up too. I think the generation that we service now, they're afraid to just show up because they don't know what they're gonna run into or expect out of the room. And we're still a small community, like Aziz just said, so we're all about helping each other and helping it grow. It's also good to see that, you know, once they were a part of the program, and now their grad students are even taking director roles. And so it's so refreshing to see that and to see them push it forward.
I have a lot of people who are IT professionals who are pro gamers, like my Street Fighter team and my MK team, like especially Gur. He's working at the NFL as an IT professional. Anybody can be in it, no matter what type of field that they're in. It's just that, you know, usually we use the skill sets from esports, our organizational skills, our technological skills, our production skills, our marketing skills, to build upon future careers.
Hello, educators. Welcome back. Are you ready to take your scholastic gaming to the next level? Because we are. We know you've been loving the Gaming Concepts curriculum, but don't worry, that amazing content isn't going away, just moving. Starting this fall, we'll be transferring your Gaming Concepts learning experience to our brand new US-based platform, Blueprint. But what's Blueprint all about? Blueprint is a cut above the average learning software. It's packing some serious upgrades. The interface is user-friendly, so you won't have to spend ages figuring it out. The platform also has robust security measures to make sure that your important data stays safe. It's also the exclusive provider of the Gaming Concepts curriculum. Plus, we're making the migration process super smooth. Clear instructions and support will be right at your fingertips. But wait, there's more. Blueprint is a living platform. That means you'll get regular updates and fresh, new content to keep your esports curriculum at the cutting edge. We'll be making continuous improvements based on user feedback and emerging best practices to help educators stay ahead of the game. Blueprint will also house a library of free curriculum materials, which you can use to expand your own knowledge and share your passion for esports education with others. Blueprint is a game changer for educators, a platform focused on enhancing student engagement, motivation, and ultimately, academic success. This powerful platform is designed to make teaching easier, more collaborative, and way more exciting. So what are the next steps? Change can be scary, but don't worry, you're not flying solo. Generation Esports is going to be with you every step of the way to ensure a smooth transition. So keep an eye out for emails from the Generation Esports team featuring upcoming training videos to get you familiar with the platform and info on how to access Blueprint. Finally, be sure to share this video with your fellow gaming concepts educators and get ready for an amazing fall semester brought to you by Blueprint.
My name is Amy Doyle. I am a middle school teacher at Air Shirley Regional Middle School. I am the district coach for our esports program. Yeah, so our esports program started last school year when I started teaching here at Air Shirley Regional Middle School. I had approached the principal and said, hey, I would be really interested in starting an esports program here at the school. I think there's enough interest with the kids. And he was like, you know what, that's an awesome idea. Let's see how they like it. So for the first year, our team was a local team. We competed with students within our school district and we had little championships, but we had enough students that it was taking multiple days to get through our championships in district. We had about 37 students sign up in our first year of esports. And all we played was Super Smash Brothers and Rocket League. So obviously there was this really strong interest in esports here. And I was really excited about that because I'm a big gamer myself. A couple of things that I'm super proud of with our program, it makes it so accessible for our students who wouldn't traditionally be involved in something with our athletics department. And those students have not only hopped in and participated, they have risen to the occasion and have been able to hop into leadership roles such as team captains for some of our games, which has been just something I've been unbelievably proud of with our students. A specific moment this season that I was particularly proud of was our Splatoon team made it into the playoffs for the middle school fall major, or spring majors, I should say. And they were so excited just to be able to play on the nationals. In the quarterfinal match, we met with the other team and they said, hey, we're down a player because we're on spring break and they're not able to reach us. We know that according to rules, you guys could just claim the forfeit, but we're hoping that you'd still be willing to play with us. And my students were just so excited to play. They were like, yeah, absolutely. We still want to play. We want to have a good time. It was spectacular. It's the kind of joy and sportsmanship that I really love seeing with this program. I wouldn't be able to do this program without my assistant to the coach, Dr. Christopher Padicky. He wrangles in our chess kids because I cannot wrap my brain around that game, and he is phenomenal with them. I also very much want to thank Brian Ulrich, who is our school principal, who has supported this program from the very first moment of me saying, hey, I think this is something we should have here at the school. I am so excited this fall to officially launch our high school esports league. We have been rocking it here at the middle school. I know that the high schoolers are itching to get into the program as well. We'll be playing the same 5 games that we play at the middle school, which is Mario Kart, Rocket League, Splatoon 3, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, and chess.com. And then at the high school level, we'll play all 5 of those. Plus, we are going to be adding Valorant into our repertoire at the high school level. I've been plugged in with the video game culture since before teaching. This past year, I had the privilege of being able to present at PAX East about my experience of bringing video games into the classroom and esports, which was just phenomenal. So it's something that I'm very obviously passionate about, and I love sharing that passion with my students.
They say the right tools can get any job done. We agree. Introducing Blueprint, the platform for educators built by educators. Blueprint is user-friendly, featuring drag-and-drop scheduling tools and a robust gradebook. Designed for the scholastic world, Blueprint empowers educators to create powerful course content. Plus, Blueprint is the exclusive provider of the popular Gaming Concepts curriculum. Learn more about how to gain access to Blueprint today. Hello, educators. Welcome back. Are you ready to take your scholastic gaming to the next level? Because we are. We know you've been loving the Gaming Concepts curriculum, but don't worry. That amazing content isn't going away, just moving. Starting this fall, we'll be transferring your Gaming Concepts learning experience to our brand new US-based platform, Blueprint.
But what's Blueprint all about? Blueprint is a cut above the average learning software. It's packing some serious upgrades. The interface is user-friendly, so you won't have to spend ages figuring it out. The platform also has robust security measures to make sure that your important data stays safe. It's also the exclusive provider of the Gaming Concepts curriculum. Plus, we're making the migration process super smooth. Clear instructions and support will be right at your fingertips. But wait, there's more. Blueprint is a living platform. That means you'll get regular updates and fresh, new content to keep your esports curriculum at the cutting edge. We'll be making continuous improvements based on user feedback and emerging best practices to help educators stay ahead of the game. Blueprint will also house a library of free curriculum materials, which you can use to expand your own knowledge and share your passion for esports education with others. Blueprint is a game changer for educators, a platform focused on enhancing student engagement, motivation, and ultimately, academic success. This powerful platform is designed to make teaching easier, more collaborative, and way more exciting. So what are the next steps? Change can be scary, but don't worry, you're not flying solo. Generation Esports is going to be with you every step of the way to ensure a smooth transition. So keep an eye out for emails from the Generation Esports team, featuring upcoming training videos to get you familiar with the platform, and info on how to access Blueprint. Finally, be sure to share this video with your fellow Gaming Concepts educators, and get ready for an amazing fall semester, brought to you by Blueprint.
My name is Colt Berry. I am the video game design teacher and the head esports coach at Stafford High School in Stafford, Texas. I've been coaching for about 3 or so years as an esports collegiate athlete as well as a collegiate coach. I used to play for Rogers State University in Claremont, Oklahoma. So I was a part of, I basically created my own esports club there. And then I was part of the first 27 athletes in Oklahoma to be the first on varsity scholarship in the state of Oklahoma. I did a survey of the students real quick. And we did our first initial esports program meeting. And that's when I had probably 80 or so students show up to this initial club meeting. My director, Dr. Barry Allen, was like, you can just wait till next year to get everything going, just fill it out, fill the school year out, don't overrush yourself. But then I had 20 or 30 seniors, and I was like, I'm not gonna let these kids go another year without this program. So we built the teams, and my Valorant team was the one team I built, and these kids were they're all diamond and ascendant players, and I was like, oh, okay, I have a good roster here. And so I was a little bit different. So a lot of people are brought as teachers, and then they're esports is thrown onto them. I was actually brought in as an esports coach and a teacher second. So I was brought in with hey, we know your background in esports, we want a program here, we want this being built out, but can you teach video game design? And luckily, before I went to college, I was a business administration major. I actually took technology classes in high school for video game design. I had certificates and had an associate's in video game design at the time, so I felt very comfortable. I'm looking forward most for in the next school year is that we're now starting district wide. So basically, this year initiative was last year initiative was get high school off the ground and get them going. Our district is pretty small. We're a 4A division school, but luckily enough, we have a STEM school, a high school, an elementary school, and a middle school. So we have all the different ways that students can be involved. So my next big goal next year is that this year we pieced into middle school. Basically, we had a couple of middle school teams this year. So I'll be trying to bring in a couple more teachers under my coaching stipend and really fill out an esports director role is what I'm looking forward to, and creating a campus club at middle school, STEM, and high school, and creating teams as well as connecting those with pathways in video game design as well as video game curriculum to connect these students in not just esports, but in curriculum that will help them, design video games and be in career fields of in esports and in video games, and even using video games to teach modern day curriculum like math, science, and things of that nature is what we're really looking forward to do. Yeah, so it feels pretty good. It feels amazing. It feels rewarding. I would say is my best word to describe the feeling. To be among the nationwide nominees for coaches of the year.
Hi, my name is Jaden Gorham. I'm from Hebron High School just outside Dallas, Texas. I teach chemistry, and I started the esports program at our school. I've had the privilege of getting to implement gaming concepts into the curriculum just this past semester. And now it's evolved into this elective where we actually had over 170 kids sign up for it in this next coming year. And so, kids are, lining up to try to take this elective.
Gaming Concepts is an innovative curriculum that blends the excitement of competitive gaming with STEM and educational objectives to foster a strong sense of belonging among students. Schools using Gaming Concepts reported an increase in attendance of up to 10%, alongside an overall rise in self-esteem by 8.3%, and nearly 82% of students expressed they had never participated in any extracurricular activity before Gaming Concepts. Written by educators, for educators, Gaming Concepts features 5 unique courses distinctly tailored for middle school and high school students passionate about this growing industry. Bring the power of esports into the classroom, and you'll find just how impactful Gaming Concepts can be for your school. It's game on. Introducing Rising Champions. This summer school course features 20 ready-to-go lessons from day one. Utilizing the Blueprint digital learning platform, you're able to fully customize your experience. You can either use our preloaded lessons or add your own. Encourage your students to have fun while learning technical skills like 2D and 3D animation, computer maintenance, social media design, esports career building, and much more. Summer is about having fun. So sign up for Rising Champions today.
My name is Jaden Gorham. I teach and coach at Hebron High School. I'm primarily a chemistry teacher teaching honors chemistry, and then on a whim started the esports program during the very tumultuous virtual COVID year back in 2019-2020, and the rest is history. I know with how early esports is on the national stage and how everyone is viewing it, that everyone and every teacher and coach is trying to start this thing and work with their kids. Everyone is hitting their own unique barriers. I've certainly hit barriers, and to be named one of the 5 finalists is a very validating feeling. Name of the game is just try to get our kids represented and try to get them involved in as many ways as possible. And so everything I've done has tried to get as many kids involved and feel like they can be included in the school's culture. And for a lot of these kids, this is the first extracurricular they've ever been a part of. So it's their first opportunity to get to wear Hebron on their chest. And I've always tried to paint the picture to my kids that, listen, you're one of the first iterations of kids that gets to do this. And so everything that you guys are accomplishing, it's bigger than what Hebron is doing. It's for high school esports as a whole and esports as a whole. And so it's just trying to push past our own school's borders and our district's borders and even our state's borders just to try to get as many kids involved and represented as possible. So during the COVID year, I was a full-time virtual teacher. And man, you don't get into teaching to lecture to a computer screen, I'll tell you that. And so we had really, really large class sizes where I would have 50 to 60 kids in each class. And our district didn't have a webcam requirement or anything like that. And so really the kids would sign on, and almost assuredly, 90+% of those kids are turning on the lecture and then flipping over to the other side of their bed or other monitor, looking at Netflix or whatever they were viewing at the time. So I'm sure they were tuning me out. And so just trying to connect with those kids, man, it was such a weird time. And of course, everyone's going through their own issues. And so I remember in the very first week, I was telling them, yeah, my favorite pastime is I love gaming. I played League of Legends in order to bond with my randomly assigned roommates at college. And so I'm telling my kids about that. And one of them, messages me, private message, and he goes, hey, you said you played League, and I've got buddies over at this school, a couple districts over, that they play for their school's team. Could we do something like that? I said, wow, that sounds awesome. I had no idea that would even be a thing. Like, I'd always followed pro esports, so I looked into it, and then that made it to where all these kids that were stuck at home and they're just looking at screens all day anyway, might as well play for your school. And so from fall to spring, we went from like 9 kids involved in the fall to upwards of like 40 kids involved in the spring, something like that. And then it was that summer, Valorant came out, and then we found you guys, HSEL, in the fall semester, and those kids rocked and rolled. Our program coming back to in-person schooling fell in numbers once again. And so I had 1 League roster, 2 Rocket League rosters, and then my 1 Valorant roster. And Valorant is what, of course, just put us into the forefront of things, because that group of 5 kids won the major. And then, of course, they won Grand Nationals that year as well, which just resulted in just this explosion of kids being interested. And Valorant was just huge. Won Nationals, and it was like 60 kids that applied to be on our teams, try out. And I said, well, listen, let's just make as many rosters as we possibly can. Whether you want to be competitive, you want to be casual, let's just get every kid involved that we can. And that's just been the name of the game since. We are now one of the largest organizations on campus. We have upwards of 130 members. We had over 80 kids actively competing this year in HSEL, and the kids are proud to talk about it. And that's one of the coolest things that we've become ingrained in Hebron's culture. But one of the hardest things about esports, and I know this is a struggle that so many coaches and directors are going through, is there's still that little bit of a stigma where kids don't want to come out and say, yeah, I compete on my League of Legends team, or I compete on my Valorant team. But no, when you're working hard, you're putting in hours each week to be the best at something. Why would you not be proud to say that? But now I've seen nothing but support from the kids around us in our entire school community. And I think Hebron's culture is very unique in that they're very positively uplifting of one another and support of one another. But yeah, we're just like any other organization, and it's been really cool to see that transition. I'm hoping to just really boom our media presence this next year, because name of the game is just, make it normal. And that's not just normal for our school, but make it normal statewide, nationwide. And so if our program can help other programs get kicked off or push down any barriers that they have, that's always what I've been trying to communicate to these kids.
I learn a lot from the kids. I kind of let them run things. I let them set their own captains and set their own practice schedules, and I will check in periodically to see how they're doing, to offer guidance and ideas. I'm Brandon Bishop. I'm an educator, first and foremost. I'm a teacher. I teach social studies, history. As a kid, I grew up with like the console wars, so like PlayStation 2, we got one for Christmas, and that's kind of how I got into gaming. So yeah, I think the biggest skill that gaming can teach, especially with this at this level, is communication and cooperation. Watching the kids play and communicate, I learn a lot more, and so I can kind of see what things are working for them, what things don't. These kids are playing games on their own all the time, and they spend a lot of time on it. So I want them to harness that and turn it to something that can be used for like school pride. Like, look at these cool jerseys you can get. You win a game and you get on the morning announcements, they say your name and say you guys are winning, and the school gets to learn about your accomplishments.
Hello and welcome back, folks. It is the moment that you have all been waiting for. I know that myself and Mikowski have. It is the grand finals. Now we need to set the stage a little bit here, Mikowski. We need to set the stage. We are looking at number 1 seed coming on here, QI Roberts. This is a squad, Mikowski, that has come forth and won 5 times in a row, looking for number 6 right there, if I had an extra finger in my hand, right? Looking for number 6 right here. On the other side, we have Epic Charter, the number 3 seed that has already seen a little bit of action on the virtual battlefield with this QIR squad. Mikowski.
Yeah, they gave QIR the best challenge that we've seen, maybe not only this weekend, but in recent memory. And based on what we just saw from them, it is so important that they earned the sweep in the lower final. That set the tone. That set the stage. If there were any questions about their performance, any questions about their gameplay there in the lower finals, would have been a 3-1 series, or maybe even a 3-2, like we previously saw from these two teams earlier in the bracket. So Epic Comets have done their homework. They've done their VOD review. They took down a Putnam City squad that had previously given them a lot of trouble in QIR. Epic Comets gave them a little bit of trouble yesterday in our winter finals. So I'm expecting to see that 3-1 go 3-2, and at that point, I feel like it's a toss-up. You got to give a little bit of an edge to QIR because they're the final boss of this tournament. They're the ones who carry all of that legacy and W's, trophies across the board. But I think Putnam City, or excuse me, Epic Comets are gonna make them earn it here. This is not going to be an easy task for them.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. We got a little content, little video coming for you guys in a minute, but I want to talk about this just a tiny bit more. How perfect, Mikowski, is it that everywhere on the upper finals, after of course that round one went down to non-3-0 formats, right? Yeah, Putnam City Epic Comets even taking it to a map number 5 right there. Putnam City, drops down, takes it to a 3-2 at Bosco Tech. You and I got to cover the action right there. An action it was indeed. This has not been filled out, but so interesting, right? The lower finals, like everything round 1 3-0, everything in the upper finals, semis or finals goes down to the wire. Lower semifinals goes down to the wire. Lower finals a quicker 3-0.
Yeah, that's very interesting to note, right? It really points to how the start of most Halo tournaments look like that. 3-0s across the board. Yep. The cream rises to the top usually, but as you get further and further along the bracket, you see things like we see here, 3-1, 3-2, all the way through. But there in your lower finals, it goes back to a 3-0, which again speaks to how highly tuned up this Epic Comics squad is. And based on the eye test, they look better than they did yesterday. And yesterday, they still almost took QIR to a Game 5. So if they're able to take that level of proficiency and efficiency that we saw in the lower finals, we got ourselves a potential grand finals reset even, where just for everyone at home, kind of explain this, lay out the context, lay of the land for this. In a double elimination tournament, the team that is in the grand finals from the winter finals still holds on to that token, we'll call it, in their back pocket, right? So every team is afforded 2 opportunities to lose before you're out. Really, it's 1, because that second opportunity to lose, if you lose, you're out. So QIR has the benefit of the doubt in the sense that they could lose this series regardless of score count, regardless of map count, and the bracket would then be reset. Then we're on an even stage, right? QIR has lost a series. Epic Comets have lost a series. So we'll see where it goes. Bracket resets aren't very common. It's very, very difficult to do. But I feel like with recent history on the side of Epic Comets, they have a good chance to do that against QIR.
Oh, 100%. Like, this is literally a QIR squad that just dropped a map against the Epic Charters in that upper finals as well. It was not a bloodless victory there for QIR. Now, folks, when you talk about this, the reason why we love bracket resets, like bracket reset capabilities, bracket reset capabilities, is that you come into this with like a little bit of writing on the wall, right? QIR is... again, 5-time winners here for the HSEL Nationals. They came in here, but they've looked less dominant. You come into a grand finals, on one side, we could be looking at a quick 4-0 sweep. QIR comes in, just repeats, does what the QIR does, right? On the other side, we could, and like a 4-game sweep, right? On the other side, we could technically be looking at a 14-game run that this other squad comes in, that Epic Charter comes in, and finally ends out on top. At the absolute shortest, if Epic Charter just turned on the afterburners, came in here and won every single game, at the least, we're looking at 8 maps in a row that this squad from Epic Charter has to go to. So like 4, 8, 14, like, and those are all just like maximum minimums and stuff like that. There's so many options within there that we could end up at that'll still end in very even-handed competition.
Yeah, this one could go the distance. So for the viewers at home, the mom, dads, and families supporting their sons and daughters in this competition, make sure you got a water nearby. Make sure you got your favorite snack nearby, and you might as well just want to make sure you got a full dinner meal planned, because this one could go the distance. This one could get really good here coming up in just a few.
Yeah, so just like what Mikowski is saying, we're looking at like, maybe like an hour and 20, hour and 30 or something like that, like the shortest end with no delays, or like 4 hours if we're talking about a full 14 game, the 7-game series that goes over to Epic Charge to begin with, and then either team winning in 7. That said, though, before we kick off this action, I wanted to get you guys, a little content action going on here. We got a little video action here coming on in from the coach of QIR.
My name is Christopher Cantrell, a computer science teacher as well as the esports coach at QI Roberts High School. It's definitely a big honor to be selected as one of the 5 finalists for Coach of the Year. When I had this idea for this program a couple years back, it was really to get a group of students together to do something great and be a part of something great and help these kids build relationships as well as build other skills. And there were conversations about bringing esports to our high school, but we didn't really know where to start. It started out as just a small gaming club where we would come once a week after school and it would be like a couple kids and we'd play video games for an hour. And it took us until we went to I think it was the FTCE convention, and we met up with the Generation Esports and HSEL table, and they gave us a ton of information as far as how to run an esports program for high school esports, where we can actually compete against other high schools in an organized fashion. So that first season that we had, it was fairly successful. We only competed in Halo Infinite that season, and we made the playoffs, and I think we even might have won a playoff game. So we did pretty well, and that gave us like some momentum going into the next year because we had a bunch of like sophomores and freshmen who were really into it. Yeah, I definitely want to give shout out to my principal, Joe Theobald, because he was with me from the very beginning in terms of just having those conversations about what we could do with a high school esports program. And he's always supportive of everything we do. And then I also want to give a big shout out to Lennon Harvey. Lennon Harvey is the IT director here in Putnam County, and he has been a great help in terms of helping us get PCs, like you see behind me. Next year, I'm really looking forward to see what sort of students come in terms of like the freshmen and sophomores. I'm always excited to see new talent come up, new students, and how they gel with our upperclassmen. And I'm always, excited to see students when they first compete and just see that excitement and their growth. One thing we're going to try next year, this is a new thing. I've been working with Lennon Harvey and the IT department to create a mini esports arena in our county so we can have district competitions, and it will be done by this summer. So we're hoping to start streaming with a full commentator's desk and have students commentate our matches, and we're hoping to create some sort of Twitch channel. We haven't done it yet, but next year we'll definitely try and do some streaming and district competitions. If you search QI Roberts on Instagram, or Facebook, they're always supportive and shouting us out whenever we do something cool.
Hello and welcome back. That has been a message there from Chris Cantrell, the head coach there at QIR, and a head coach that deserves no shortage of accolades. 5 wins for their Halo squad in a row, on top of their accolades their other esports teams have accrued. But hey, it's Sunday and the theme continues, guys. Tugboat is laughably incorrect. We are not looking at 7-game series. We're looking at best of 5s. Now, a lot of times you do see best of 7s in a grand finals, but it is kind of a lot to accept from the bracket reset format. We'll be looking at best of 5s in both the regular, and then if that's Epic Charter that wins it, and a best of 5 in the bracket reset again if Epic Charter takes that one down. Talk to me now a little bit about the format here, Mikowski, for the grand finals.
Yeah, so going to be similar to what we've seen throughout. I think what we want to key in on here are the games 2 and 5. Those are always slayers. Games 1, 3, and 4 can be any variation of the objectives, such as Oddball, Capture the Flag, King of the Hill, or Stronghold. So there's a lot of variety, a lot of variance there in games 1, 3, and 4, but the Slayers, we know, will fall on games 2 and 5. And based on what we've seen from this Epic Comets roster, led by One-Eyed Willie, who we had on the cast earlier, great interview from the young man.
Oh, yeah.
They got the slaying prowess. They got the slayers. They have the support role players as well to support and lift up those main slayers that we got to see from Epic Comets. So the rallying cry for this crew is to get to a Game 5. In order to do that, I think they have to win the Game 2 Slayer. I'd actually argue they might even have more slaying prowess than this QIR squad. I'm giving QIR a little chip on their shoulder. They'd never see that with how talented and well they usually play in these tournaments. But I think if Epic Charter are able to win the Game 2, then you just have to win one of the 3 OBJ. Those are objective game modes, and I think Epic Comets can definitely go 1 for 3 in the OBJs against this powerhouse QIR final boss-esque roster. And if you win that one Slayer, you win that one of 3 objectives, then you set yourself up for a Game 5 Slayer, where again we feel Epic Comets maybe suits their gameplay a little bit more, maybe falls into their hands a little bit. So that's the rallying cry. If I'm the coach for Epic Comets, I'm saying, guys, let's just get to Game 5. At that point, it's anyone's ball game. Despite the fact that QIR are favored here, they're coming in on a roll, winning multiple championships in a row. That's the key to success for them.
Yeah, I would say the big difference here, Mikowski, is in the type of momentum, right? There's a little bit to be said, momentum expires over time, right? Yes, a whole lot of back and forth, but this is the same operation that this squad has been going off of this entire time. Now, Epic Comets taking a map off the top-rated team, the top seed here in every way, shape, and form. That's the kind of momentum that goes forth on the day. It is also worth stating that Epic Charters has played a real competitive match on the day. Now, QIR would be very surprised if they have spent 0% of their time this morning, right? Not scrimming, not playing some rank, not playing something, not at least shooting bots and whatnot, trying to keep their aim fresh. But there's a lot to be said for that. We were asked by some of our production staff and TOs, shout out to all of them, to pick some horses, right? Give a little bit of picks out and predictions here. I'm not super comfortable picking a team right here. What I am comfortable doing is saying that this will not be a sweep, that this is not going to be a clean 3-0 for either of these teams.
No. This will not be a sweep, and that's an accurate prediction to make because previously when these two lined up in the bracket, it was not a sweep. It was a highly contested series, and you bring up a great point. QIR winning in the winter final. They come to the grand final. They have that token in their back pocket, right? If the Epic Comets are able to win this first best-of-5 series, the bracket resets, and then Epic Comets would have to win another best-of-5 series in the grand finals. But
yes,
Epic Comets have been playing throughout the day. They looked incredible in that lower final series where they 3-0'd the competition. And I always make a case that sometimes that's a benefit. Sometimes it's a benefit to be on the lower side of the bracket. You come in a little bit warmer. You've already had tournament-level gameplay, which you can't duplicate by playing matchmaking or even scrimmaging with opponents, especially not shooting the AI bots that are on the map and available to warm up with. So for QIR, sure, they come to the grand finals from the winner side of the bracket, but there's some disadvantages to that as well. And I want to see Epic Comets take advantage of that by maybe jumping out early and winning this game 1, and then, who knows, maybe going up 2-0 by winning that Slayer that we talked about in game 2, and at that point, you're in the driver's seat.
You really are. Ball is in your court, right? Here's a second prediction for you. If Epic Charters is going to reset this bracket, they're going to have to, you kind of mentioned this a little bit, but they're going to have to do it by taking the Game 2 Slayer. Even if it goes down and they end up taking it in 4 right here, they have to, required. I'm not discounting the importance that map number 1 has between these two teams, but they have to take a Slayer, and that has to happen in map number 2. Map 5, again, that's up in the air, right? That is obviously deciding the winner right here, whether it's bracket reset or QIR for the 6th time in a row, but the Slayer, the next map, is going to be very important, and given the momentum the Epic Charters will bring into this, it'll be so important for them to win this one and then take it to that second game. Let's get to it!
Here we go. Your grand finals are live and set. QI Roberts taking on the Epic Comets, looking to make an epic run from the lower bracket. Camo off the start. I don't believe it was secured in the suit of Epic Comets. That might leave that resource down on the ground, bottom mid. For now, though, early points going to QIR.
Yes, sir. So a little bit of coverage right now. Again, 45 seconds, correct, Old Man Mikowski?
Correct. 45 seconds to score each one of these hills. You can see the bar go based off of percentage points, so I usually call it like 25% lead now for QIR, but if you do the math, I don't even want to do the math. 45 seconds needed in total, but for now, QIR have 25% of that.
Yes, leave the math to HSEL and the fantastic programs that they have set up for their young people to go forth and find all kinds of success. It is bad in Hydro right now, or near Whirlpool, excuse me, as Dolly and a teammate kind of posturing up a little bit. BR in hand, the classic look, and he gets the slay right there because Sus EJ shot all of his shots to the head, right?
I like what Sus EJ's doing right here with the battle rifle. I like what QIR are doing here from a strategy perspective. They get 25% of the hill points, and they don't go for it in one fell swoop. They don't try to take a big bite out of the elephant, if you will. Instead, they play for time and space around the map. That's exactly what we just saw from Sus EJ. What he's doing before he controls the hill is controls the space around it. Great execution here early from QIR.
Nicely done, Sven Bad Bones, and then One Eye Willie trying to get a little bit of who's what's, but that's not going to be enough in time. A fantastic utilization, maybe even a better frag. If that frag had landed, we'll call it a quarter second earlier, we'd be looking at a different situation. Perfect utilization of the Shroud right there, right?
Perfect. I love how it's on the edges corner there, too. You don't want to just set it in the middle, right? You don't want to set it out in the open, especially. You want to set it where it connects to geometry, to where you can make the most of it. Moonwalker making the most of that camo, gets a free hand toss. Sticky grenade on the opposition, and that's going to give Epic Comets their first points on the board.
Yes, it is. That brings it out. The plasma out. Sven comes out. No, excuse me. This is going to be a trade. Shots ringing out here from the pit side as Oak Assassin just tries to back up a little bit. A little rest for the weary. Now 2 inside. Now, they don't need 2 inside, but this is such a great job to having that dual-headed dragon on the offense and providing a lot of pressure right there, but it might be QIR on the top ropes. No, excuse me. I got my teams mixed up here, folks. Epic Comets winning a couple of those. They are about to score and tie this back on up here on the King of the Hill in map number 1.
They're starting to bounce back, and I like putting 2 players in the hill. You know, you don't score faster. You don't score twice as fast like you might think, as Epic Comets score right back to tie this up in 1. Great response and regain. Don't let the favorite just start to run away with it. But I like the thought process there, putting 2 players in the hill, despite, again, the fact that it doesn't make that score go any faster. But what it does is it gives you a contingency plan. Let's say one of your 2 players goes down. That's fine. You're going to retain possession. You're going to retain points. And that's exactly what we saw there from Epic Comets. But on the early rotation to hill number 3, QIR already past 50%. So Epic Comets coming off a spawn here. They're going to have to roll, and this might be their only chance to stop hill number 3. QIR are rolling on it.
Yes, they are. That hasn't really been even a single second of contention so far. As I say that, Epic Comets, I hear that and be like, hey, what are you talking about, contestant Tugboat? We're getting all on top of this one. Active camo up in about 5 seconds, but this is QIR just peppering the hill with frag grenades, making it very hard to even touch a toe onto point. Oh no, stuck the teammate.
Unfortunate, but you know what? He makes up for it. Makes good on that mistake. It's a 2v2, so net outcome is throw a 4 going down for QIR. Maybe that was the strategy there. Throw a sticky grenade at your own teammate, and it confuses the other team to think, wait, what are they doing? As QIR go 4 down. Epic Comets are in the hill. Who made it away with camo? Ooh. Oh my god, for now it's Oak Assassin with the shock. This could bring Epic Comets right back.
That plasma grenade's a little close. Those are 2 players so low. Enough for the first one. Sus EJ gets a second. Now forcing the drop down here from Oak Assassin. Oh. Another shot. Player was 1 shot. Doesn't matter. A double kill. 2 for the price of 1. Unfortunately for Epic Comets, this streak gets grounded as QIR just gets on top of there. Now, this is entirely set up because of what for QIR and in that 3rd hill, of course, because of what Epic Comets is doing right now. They realize they have taken the L on the hill and now have gone forth and completely set up, and now they're rewarded. Oh man, I was going to say they're rewarded with about, what is that, maybe 25% or so, but that is all 25%. But a... Yeah, but that's 3 down and only 1 traded for QIR. That's the 4th, and now Epic Comets are going to be spawning on Narnia.
Look at the objective efficiency from QIR. The only objective efficiency in Slayers are getting those slays, staying alive. But here in King of the Hill, the goal is to get points. So even if you go quote-unquote negative, where you get more deaths than you do kills in Halo, that's going to be okay so long as you prioritize hill time. And there we previously saw Oak Assassin go on a spree with the shock rifle, put on a little mini montage with it, getting that double kill with the shock. But right after that, what happened? QIR scored the points that matter most, and they doubled down on it, making it a 3-1 lead. The objective efficiency looking really strong here for QIR.
This just got a lot harder, and even more so is Sven. Okay, pops the active, and Epic Comets reacts immediately. Now, folks, if you were unfortunate enough not to catch us yesterday, a 3-1 lead means nothing in the HSEL. We saw a full 4-point comeback. But my God, the way Sus EJ is dealing out the damage takes another. Okay, if he won that one again, I just have to say, dude, the absolute brawn and confidence of that player. Wise decision from Spin Bad Bones, right? You're talking about only like a couple of more seconds maybe taken. He gets out, tries to take cover. It's just an errant frag grenade that takes him down.
Yeah, this is twice we've seen QIR in an instance where they take the 25%, take what the game gives you, and they get out of hill to repossess not only map control, but full shields. We see a little bit of that here from Oak Assassin as they push on through on the tower side. Chunkman, who's played so well in some of the other tournaments I've casted in the grassroots Halo community. He's an up-and-coming rising star in the Halo community. But speaking of up-and-coming, Epic Comets coming back with a little bit of more time left on the hill. They surpass what QIR have put on the board. Now they need one more hold to make it a one-score game.
Now down bottom, Sven just trying to get away, not gonna happen. Down low, Chunkman taken out as Dally takes a bite out of QIR.
And Dally was the last player alive here. This is a hero moment, potentially. Fortunate seaside spawns with instant access to the hill allow a couple of grenades to take down Dally, but not before the triple kill.
No.
But right after 3 go down, and if you look at the bar, just 1 second is all the Epic Comets need to make this a one-score game. You can see bodies and resources flying, diving towards that hill. Can they cap it? Or QIR break their hearts in game number 1? And they do. Ice in the veins. It's no coincidence they're the blue team here as they take game 1, 4-1.
Yeah, that is, man, it really looks like the Epic Comets squad had just a way in edgewise, right? They take the one, that's a little bit of momentum coming back their way. They get literally within 1 second. So I was, well, I believe that was Sven. Yeah, I believe that was Sven Bad Bones here for QIR that I was congratulating the performances, right? He was sitting in this hill down in pit, which is famous for just being an absolute slaying field, just really, really hard to hold your life down there just in general, nonetheless, when the hill is down there, right? And then he gets out while he is one shot and gives up like a couple of extra seconds to get to cover and try to get the shields back. Now, as a random grenade, teams like this, you can only call so many grenades random grenades. It is maybe a little bit of a lucky grenade placed perfectly there that takes him out, but the idea there is perfect, right? Comes all the way down to the end. Epic Comets literal 1 second away from taking their second and making this a much more manageable 3-2 King of the Hill.
Look at the difference again. We talked about objective efficiency during the match. +6. Only 6 more slays did QIR secure. That's just 1.5 team wipes here in Halo Infinite, and they won by more than 1.5 points. So, again, the objective efficiency was so strong. They played so well. Once they lost shields inside of the hill, they said, okay, that's fine. We'll step out of the hill, fight the fight that needs to be fought here on the periphery of it, and then once we win that, we'll get right back in it. And in the instances where Epic Comets were able to win that particular micro battle, they came off of spawn, and an example of that would have been that Whitehall spawn where the grenades rained down onto that bottom mid hill. Despite the hero play from Dally, the triple kill with 3 members of his team down, still was able to secure it with the triple. But the objective efficiency, the plays off of your back foot, the plays off of your spawn were so strong there from QIR. That was a hard-fought win, and again, 4-1, that's a 3-point separated game. It's not necessarily a blowout. I think 4-0 would be more of a blowout, but that's a pretty hearty win there for QIR. But the kill sheet doesn't reflect that, so that's bodes well for both teams. It bodes well for QIR in the sense that in these objective game modes, there's 3 of them in the series. You need to win 3 matches, so they could ride the wave of objective efficiency to win this series, this tournament, this grand finals, this nationals. But Epic Comets were able to hang in the slaying department, which is where we head for game number 2. If they can take game number 2, and if it's more of a case of need to, right? They can't be there can't be any ifs or question marks. I feel like for Epic Comets, you were able to hang in the slaying department in game 1. Now's where you need to show it in game 2, where the only objective is to get those slays. So this is their opportunity right here. They need to tie up this series at 1. You can't let the favorite just start to run away with it here in the grand finals, which is what they started to do there at the end, icing up on those particular hills. The score was a little wide open, but if you watched and took notes on each particular hill, they were so close.
Yeah, and like where my mind goes to on these, Mikowski, is how these 1v1s went down. There was only, like you said, only +6 kills or so for the side of QIR in a 4-1 game. This doesn't translate to that same kind of difference within a Slayer, and when the objective just boiled down to just slay out, save your life, or trade out your teammates as often as you can, again, I cannot state this enough. Fans, parents, friends, teachers, coaches, everybody watching this right now, if Epic Charter wants to weigh in edgewise anyway into this series, they have to take this game right now, because dropping this, like, coming into this, I would say honestly anybody, Bosco, Epic Charter, or Putnam City, all have honest shots, honest opportunities of beating QIR, dethroning QIR, because the writing is on the wall. Five in a row. Doesn't happen by mistake, right? But getting to a situation where you're down 2-0, that's a different level of confidence. And I can't say that I have that confidence from any of these teams to say, oh, well, they can win 3 in a row without losing a single one, because that's the situation they would be in at that point. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not talking negatively about any of these teams. And I think overall at best of 5, any of those 3 teams, that I just said, have an honest shot at beating, but that's a completely different situation. That goes directly out the window if you're talking about a 2-0 series and winning 3 in a row and not giving up a single one. That's totally different.
Just got word from the production team. Game 2 Slayer is going to be fought on Recharge, where that's even better for Epic Comets. And the losing team, they get to make that map veto choice. And I like the decision here from Epic Comets. They were able to hang in the slaying department, and we saw that masterful work with the shock rifle from Oak Assassin, that nutty double kill on the Needle Hill, hill number 3 in Halo Infinite on Recharge. You do that, you don't have to worry about making sure you score hill time after that, like QIR were able to steal from him. So if Oak Assassin is able to just run it back with the use of the shock rifle, we saw One-Eyed Willie hit a triple kill yesterday with it. We know these guys are strong with the shock. So I really like this map veto decision here from the crew to go back to the map that you just lost. But again, you have to read between the tea leaves, right? You have to, the eye test, right? You can't just look at the final score and say, oh, well, that's what it was. No. You have to watch the game itself. Obviously, these players are playing in the game itself, and they make a great decision here on this map veto decision.
Cannot agree more. Again, folks, this is Epic Comets that just took this team to a 6-kill differential when that wasn't even the objective. Go right back to Recharge. Forget that you lost this first map. 4-1 on paper again looks much harder. This thing came this close, literally 1 second away from at absolute worst, being a 4-2. Right?
It could have even been 3-3.
Yeah, exactly. Could have been 3-3, or it could have been Epic Comets coming back.
The Needle Hill, the final hill.
Yes,
I mean, exactly. All of the hills, like every hill was highly contested, and that's where, again, it comes down to ice, and it's like, well, what's ice? Again, ice is the OBJ, the objective efficiency, which QIR just had a little bit more of. And it's ironic. They played fast, but the way they were able to get that objective efficiency was by playing patient, right? Taking hill time when they had the protective layer, protective bubble, almost like an imaginary force field, if you will, around the hill. They did a great job with their timing, space control, all of the works, as this is going to be a good game too, though. I'm so excited to see Oak Assassin. I want to see him run it back with the shock. I want to see One-Eyed Willie get another triple kill like we saw with the shock rifle yesterday. If they do that, this game's going to be really close again, and I think the score might more accurately reflect that.
Yeah, exactly. 100% agreed. Like, and the simple fact is, like, you know what we're talking about. For example, what Empyrean yesterday, right? And all of the sandbox, right? And how sometimes they're like, sometimes especially talking about, the big the rockets in the rockets in the middle, sniper rifles on either side and whatnot. Sometimes it just wasn't utilized as well. literally every single thing here between the shroud screen, right? That shroud screen purchased the first half of hill number 4, I believe. Yes, for them to go up 3-1. That purchased all of like the first half of QIR's hill over there on Seaside, right? If I'm counting right here, yeah.
It was,
and then
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it gets a little mixy when you start to see all those different hills, the hills bouncing around the map like that. But yeah, great utilization of the shroud screen there. Like we talked about in the previous series,
like everything, like everything power up in here is
right. You got to use the test to take the test, and what that means in terms of Halo is you got to use the sandbox to earn the ultimate objective. There in that previous King of the Hill, it was the capturing of those points on the map. Now in Game 2 Slayer, it kind of dumbs down a little bit, right? The only objective is you to stay alive and or get slays. So looking to see who plays their life most efficiently, right? Like what's the parallel to objective efficiency in a Slayer where the objective is to just get kills? The efficiency is in staying alive. So making sure that you take gunfights when it matters or means the most. And if you don't have an advantage, let's say you go 1v1 with the opposition, you land 3 shots to their 4, back away. Just live to fight another day.
What a scoreline such as of like 1, 9, and 7, for example. 1 kill, 9 assists, 7 deaths. These are perfectly acceptable within Slayers because you're talking about almost double-digit amount of deaths, points garnered for your team that you unlocked that would not have, that likely would not have happened otherwise. It's a team-based game. It's group shots. Let's get on into it here, Mikowski. Game number 2, map number 2. Well, second map, same map, just as good as the first here. It's Recharge, and we're going down to Slayer. Ball boiled down right here. I can't understate it, folks. Epic Charter has got to win this game if they want to go forth and try for their bracket reset opportunities.
It's early, but it's the grand finals, and it's all on the line here. Can we see that same level of slaying prowess like we saw previously from Epic Comets? If so, we could see a 1-1 tie here in your grand finals. QIR the favorite. They're coming in with multiple championships in their back pocket. They got the winner's token in their back pocket. And this is the opportunity, right? Like, just those 2 statements I just made alone, like, you're really starting to build a case for why and how QIR can win this tournament. Now it's Epic Comets' time to make a case for themselves.
Cannot agree more. And especially, it will be a statement made by Epic Charter for them to come back and win a Slayer match on Recharge that they just lost the hill 4-1, albeit closer than the scoreline entails. Is there a preferred Mikowski hold when it comes to Slayer here on Recharge?
I think with Shock spawning on the gold side, you want to make sure you have consistent hold of gold. And as a tangent to that, A as well, which is where you see the QIR squad spawning over on that needle now side, pushing through onto the gold side are QIR. You see Oak Assassin here working his way to the elevator. He has an angle to prevent QIR from grabbing that shock rifle off the start. Camo down below, and it looks like Epic Comets will secure it. Nice opening grab of the sandbox. Nice opening slay here for Epic Comets, starting off with the lead.
Nicely done, little 2-0, and the active camo gets out with the life. Now, shields all the way back up, monitors teammate just a little bit, but that's Dolly who does take the W. Coming on in here, we might see a little assassin action. That's 1! Here comes the second, perfectly done. It's a back smack, and Sven will find that grenade kill regardless, so it's a 2-1 trade here, Mikowski.
Oh, you can see what One-Eye Willie's going for. You can see the process being played here. Excellent utilization of that camo to give Epic Comets a 3-kill lead off the start. Now looking to roll on it with use of the shock. Could land a double headshot here, but it's going to be difficult. Great utilization of the numbers advantage there by QIR. Anytime you put pressure in the face of the shock rifle, it's like putting pressure in the face of a high school quarterback. Doesn't matter how good they are, it's difficult to land the pass. It's difficult to be accurate when you got 2 people running and gunning for you.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure now onto QIR, as that was just a hair too soon for Chalkman to have pushed that 0-3 right now, must be stated. All of Epic Comets either hanging out over here towards Hydro or on the long hallway. Dark Assassin and Moonwalker combined for 2, but Darker User comes back, full trade. That will be an advantage down bottom and Deer in the pit. And player maybe getting out? Nah, not going to get out right. Oh, excuse me. Nicely done. Sus EJ keeping the dream alive for QIR.
This is big. QIR bring it back with the camo up now. Most importantly, QIR have possession of that seaside of the map, and They might just clear out gold and get the next shock rifle as well. While all of this battle goes on at the 10-minute mark, Camo has came up, and you can see Chunkman on it. Heads up play from the young gun there to secure the sandbox 1-1, if you will, in that category, as Epic Comets get the first one. QIR get the second one, but Chunkman goes down shortly after, so great mitigation of that power up from Epic Comets. They don't allow QIR to have the same efficiency that we previously saw from Epic Comets off the start. Because of that, they still hold on to that 2-kill lead.
A great job there from Chonk, man. No shots ran out, but you watched him providing kind of like, well, overwatch, lower watch. I don't know what you'd call that one, but regardless, watching over the teammate right now, peppering in with a couple of frag grenades, finds nothing. It's going to be the same thing the other way, but teammate does find a way in edgewise. One, now looking for two, barely out, low shields, almost all one's out of ammo. Teammate's got to clean this one up. I feel like another shot right there. We might have seen a fantastic one duel.
Teamwork makes the dream work, and for now it gives QIR a 1 slay lead. Squad spawns on the A side of the map for Epic Comets, but you can see that split there. Look at Dolly. Dolly on the left side here. If he times it well, he's got to be sprinting, because if he gets the backside of the opposition, he could hit the perfect flank. That's exactly what happens. Dolly's the last player alive, but after a double kill from Chonkman, it's a 1v1 for possession of the lead and it ultimately trades out 18-17 now.
Yeah, kind of a bad trade there, right, for Chunkman to have gotten engaged with the melee, because I believe he was one shot up, but hey, minor misplays right there, but these are minor misplays that sometimes lead into a difference that matters within the game.
Epic Comets are right where they want to be here early on, though. They've been able to control the sandbox. They got one of the camos, only gave up one of the camos to QIR, but at the 8-minute mark, life comes at you quick, huh? And so too does the camo. Up in the next 3 seconds. Possession of it potentially from QIR. They have to look at it, but there's that shroud screen. Utilization of it potentially gets them the camo, but it goes down shortly after. I believe Dally was able to grab it, but they go down shortly after. But in that instance, QIR have to use a lot of resources to put the hill down. Oh my goodness. Look at all the assists coming up on the board. This is what I'm talking about. Role players playing their role to earn the assist, to provide the intel to your teammates. Great job of that there from Sven Badbones. That was a Sven good play.
Yes, it was. I love that. 15 total assists for QIR. That means that more than 2/3 of their 22 points thus far, of their 22 slays, have been assists. Anything better than 50% efficiency on assists, I feel like, is good, correct?
Absolutely. It's a remarkable teamwork being used here from QIR. So they're taking that objective efficiency and making it work in Slayer efficiency as well. One of the ways you can do that is with the shock. You can see that blue bar above where the shock rifle spawns. That signifies where and when the next shock rifle will come up. It looked like it was at about the 25% mark. The shock rifles come up every minute. So with that thought process, it's about 30-40 seconds until we see the next shock, and we are tied at the halfway mark. That shock is going to be a massive factor in finding some separation in this match.
Ooh, got past it. Now looking. Oh, plasma down bottom. I thought that might have tagged the bear outside of his hit box right here, but halfway through this one, we got a tie ball game. Couple of real aggressive QIR members, and that's going to go not the way of QIR. Epic Comets take 3 for 1.
This is one of the reasons we say in Halo, Slayers officially start in the 30s, because when two good teams, two equally matched teams go at it like this, this is what you usually look at. It's almost like it is 0-0, right? As we approach the mid game, that'll roll quickly into the end game. Camo up in the next 3 seconds. I do believe the shock is now up as well. At the 6-minute mark, controlling the sandbox is the utmost highest priority.
It is now a 1-score difference yet again. Drops down to the pit. This will not be traded out. Plasma shot from on high. Sven Badbones trying to cover the teammate. I'm not sure if that was an intentional body block, but that was absolutely necessary. Well done right there.
Looked like they had the headshot lined up. That was very impressive, and even more impressive is what I believe is a camo grab here, but it gets taken down. Camo really only able to be a factor in the early goings, but look at how this has trickled down to where we're at now. It was 3 kills that I believe Oak Assassin was able to get off the start with that camo, and look at the difference in the game. Only a 3, now 4 kill lead. Epic Comets are working towards a multi-possession lead at that 36-31. They're starting to roll. 3 go down, and Dally has the shock in his hands. If he can hold on to it for the rest of the match, that could be a win condition to tie up the series at 1.
And here we go, like full magazine here within Shock Rifle as well. Looking for it. That's first shot. That's enough as Finn drops. That's 2 full possessions of a lead here now for Epic Comets. We said it from the beginning. We needed Epic Comets to take this Slayer to make this a real series.
You got to make Goliath bleed, right? You got to make him feel a little mortal. Can't let him feel like a final boss like they are, and that's exactly what Epic Comets are doing. Incredible performance so far in this one. One Eye Willie, we called on that young man to have a big performance in the Slayers. He's one of the reasons we believe that as long as Epic Comets can take it to a Game 5 in that Game 5 Slayer, they got themselves a chance, and he's a big reason why. 17, 6, and 9. Unbelievable performance from Epic Comets. Sure, you could argue QIR have more teamwork and more assists, but when you got a player that's standout performance like One Eye Willie, you got an MVP like that, MVPs win tournaments.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Team-based game, but you also need the individual pop-off factor. That is just happening right now. Great teamwork here for QIR, but that is going to end in a trade, and then Dolly takes this one. Is going to be traded out there and there at the bottom, but these are not trades that QIR can afford to do.
No, QIR, it's too late in the game. 41-45. If Epic Comets trade out the next 5, the finish would be 50-46. That's not a winning condition for QIR. You almost have to bait what feels like a trade melee attempt, right? So Epic Comets, you have to know, in their minds, they're willing and ready to go for the trade. They might even lean forward towards it. So for QIR, I'm looking for that shimmy shake stutter step, almost like a juke on the basketball court or football field, to bait in what feels like a trade for Epic Comets, but isn't. And just as I say that, though, Epic Comets are rolling towards a 1-1 series tie in your grand final.
That's a great bait and switch right here, but they're going to have to do this many more times. Now the back smack, or excuse me, I believe that was a melee. Now combining for it, but this is a 5-1 lead right now. Epic Comets doing everything in a bag of chips to strike back in this series.
No room for error. Not go down. One more death for QIR spells trouble for them in a 1-1 tie in this series. It's a good opportunity right here to slow down the pace of play, to wait for when the moment makes most sense to strike. 2.5 minutes left on the clock, so you can't wait too long, but they do have a 2v1 potentially here in the backside of their opponent. They could use this positioning to take advantage of it. Curious to see if they're able to take down Dally, but One Eye Willie cross map. Dally, that's a little bait there. It says, Dally, why don't you go pull all the attention away from me so I can shoot across the map and finish this fight. We're tied, 1-1.
Yes, sir. This is exactly what the doctor ordered. Epic Comets, the Epic Comets squad showing exactly what they can do on the Slayer. Now, they just have to show up here, and it's a classic conversation. You hear codcasters say it all the time. If you're an S&D team, then all you got to do is take one of those objectives. Obviously, that's Hardpoint, that's Control with our current COD in that game. With this, it gets a little bit more wonky given there's so many more objective game modes, but Slayer just kind of replace that for S&D. This is Epic Charter that is taken now, one of these Slayer maps. They just need to do it and show that they can do it on an objective-based game mode.
What a great game, too, here. 50-45. Both players, both teams, highly contested in this one. And I think the difference here for Epic Comets was that even in an instance where you went quote-unquote negative, right, 8 and 11 was Moonwalker, only -3. So, again, you're not in that category of -10+ where it's making an impact statistically. I think stats are kind of overrated, actually, in Halo. You got to... Again, it's about the eye test. It's about momentum. It's about icing up in the moments where it matters most. And if you do go quote-unquote negative, make sure you're in the mix with the assists, with dealing out the damage. And look at that, Moonwalker, second on the team with 7 assists, only 1 behind the top performer, One Eye Willie.
Yeah, and also, just quick math, folks. Obviously, 45 eliminations here for QIR, 45 points, 30 assists. 30 even. Two-thirds exactly of their slays, of their points were assisted by teammates. Being able to beat that kind of teamwork here, Mikowski, is Absolutely, it's just understated. It is hard to even describe that level of momentum that Epic Charge has now garnered in this one. We had a best-of-5 bracket reset series that has now boiled down to a best-of-3 bracket reset series. Advantage QIR in case you're just joining us, of course.
Yeah, Epic Comets able to get in the mix in that assist category with 25 assists, it looks like, when I counted it up quickly. So half of their slays were contributed via assist. But again, like you said, 30 for QIR, and that's what translates into efficiency in both the objectives and the slayers. So if QIR can continue to provide that support, continue to lift up and elevate their teammates, bodes well for them in this Game 3. But here it comes. This is it. Epic Comets, in a sense, afforded themselves the opportunity to lose, which you don't want to do, but you can do, one of these next 2 games. But you got to take one of these next 2 games if you're Epic Comets. You just run out of space. The end of the road approaches if you don't win one of these 2 objectives. But again, you don't have to win the next one, but you just need to make sure you win at least the next one after that, because then that gets you to the Slayer. And that's exactly what we said was the strategy for Epic Comets. Just get to the Slayers. Just win the Slayers. And they're going to have a chance against this QIR squad that's looking for multiple victories here in the championships, back to back to back to back to back to back. I mean, they've been running hot. They've got a dominant streak here, building a little mini dynasty in here in high school esports league. But this is a squad that looks up to the challenge and might just break that streak.
Yeah, 100%. Again, this is Epic Charter that was able to take a map off of this squad earlier. We are getting confirmed CTF will be the game mode here. And if we're talking like ideal situations for Epic Charter, right? And ideal situations, they win the next 2 games and then bracket reset, then win in 3, right? Okay. Realistic ideal situations. Let's talk about that, right? Aquarius CTF coming up here. Ideal realistic situation again. Epic Charter wins this one, loses the map 4 on the objective game mode, and then gets map selection for our second Slayer, our game 5, right?
Right. The previous loser of the previous map makes the map choice going into the next game. So you can make the case that for QIR, after losing game 2, they have their pick of the litter. They have their top choice. And we previously saw them 5-0. Excuse me, that was actually the other team. Wow. Oh, excuse me. Hold up. Hold the phones. This was Epic Comets who in the lower finals 5-0'd on Aqua CTF. So an interesting strategy decision here from QIR. Sure, maybe they pick one of their best CTF game modes, but it's one of Epic Comets as well.
Yes, and putting that kind of scoreline together against a squad like Putnam City to have ended out that best-of-5 series previously in the lower finals right there, this is a different level of confidence coming out from QIR. It's basically saying, like, hey, that might be your best. How about you check out ours?
Man, I just got to imagine in the communication devices of Epic Comets, they're like, wait, they had map choice, and they just chose the map that we probably had our best performance on just 30 minutes ago. So wow. QIR, let's see how this decision plays out. Everybody on both teams going to go for Overshield off the start, and it's One-Eyed Willie with it.
Yes, it is. Hey, OS and so One-Eyed Willie and Oak Assassin, the only 2 players left alive, and now that's going to be a pull. No shots. Okay, a single shot. This pretty darn good. So teammate, the opponent's now running that one down. Nice boost right there.
Huge.
Almost falling. One-Eye Willie got a couple of teammates on the backside right there. Sus EJ gets a frag off right there. Now is this a return of this one on board the Sven Bad Bones? Nope, that's going to be a reset on right there. So
yep.
2 down. This might be an easier way in for the reset. It will be. Back to a true neutral situation. Makowski.
1 minute off the clock and 1 pull for each side. Neither team really able to do much with it. A great gunfight at the top mid location. You saw QIR with the thrust. That makes it very difficult to hit your shots. One-Eye Willie, though, still hit his shots and took down that thrust user top mid, but gets cleaned up shortly after. Great job again. There's more of those assists coming through for QIR, and they've already doubled up in that statistical category. Can they roll it into a score here?
Oh, nasty trade right there from the QIR member. A disadvantageous position, but not only is he's giving this up for the teammate, and he's giving up for the flag. Now, all QIR has to do is stop this recap, what's it called?
Well, counter cap action.
Counter cap, excuse me, counter cap. decently long day. I have also been casting at least 6 hours a day since Wednesday, so other competitions for this one. It's been long. Again, I mean, my older brother's getting hitched. I'm very, very excited about that. Going home for a couple of weeks, so I wanted to, work as much as I can for I head off with the bachelor party.
I love to see that. Love to see that. Some milestone memories and moments to be made by Tugboat here in the next couple weeks, and some opportunities here in this particular lobby. And let's not forget, $3,000 of scholarship money on the line. Yeah. That is massive here in high school esports. Like we talked about when the show started, we were playing for who purchases pizza. Plenty of pizza. Could be purchased with that $3,000 scholarship money. My goodness.
Caesars, more often than not.
Yeah. Well, $5 to go action.
Yep. $5 for a hot and ready. Always pepperoni. Why would you get cheese? Just take the pepperoni off. Never understood it. Oh well. 2 down there for QIR. Make that 3 down for QIR. Is a flag pull, so a little bit of defensive pressure against QIR. And no follow-up whatsoever. Like, even this, he's not going to get out with the life, right? Yeah, definitely not going to get out with the life, and maybe even setting up a second right there. 3 down Epic Comets, 2 down QIR, and they're spawning up on their side. There's no reason why Epic Comets should take this flag cap. This should be returned, and it is.
Yeah, that's one of those
Epic
instances.
just has to do much better job of, like, again, quantity versus quality. We talk about that with kills all the time. You have to, like, it is not quantity, it's quality. You get nothing for pulling their flag off that flag site 20 times in a game.
Exactly. That's another one of those instances of playing your process, prioritizing the right step at the right time. And there we saw Epic Comets get a little bit ahead of their process. And again, we said that might get forced when you go down in a match. You start feeling the pressure of going down 1-0. It's early, but it might just turn into 2-0. Clutch stop there in a 2v2 scenario. Yeah, I'd like to see Epic Comets in that particular scenario play for 1, maybe 2 more slays, and then you continue with that flag route as they get the return nonetheless. That looked like it could have been a 2-0 game, but instead, Epic Comets keep it close. In a 1-score game, it's just a 1-pull game, so this is close. Epic Comets are doing a great job to keep it close. They take 3 down for QIR. All of the map control just went into Epic Comets' favor, so too did the Overshield. You can see them lining up the chance for the Overshield to either run the flag or help escort it through the map. And this double kill going to be a prioritization of prioritizing the Overshield.
Great job there from Dally, realizing, hey, I don't need to win this 1v1. I need to run flag. Now, last little bit of Overshield getting wasted out. He's chasing a little bit too much here. Got to cover the flag because, of course, flag carrier gets taken down. And QIR now has his way in edgewise onto this. Lots of shots. There's frag. No. So he's right here. Flag is away, though.
Oh,
what a play!
With the goal line stand, double kill, resets the flag himself as the last Spartan standing. A counter cap will ensue. Chunkman with a chunky play. That was huge.
So the reset, the pull, and we're past the 50-yard line. QIR is playing out of their absolute minds right now, Makowski.
Unbelievable. Ice in the veins. I mentally visualized a 1-1 tie and was starting to think about how we could analyze that and break it down. Instead, QIR retain that 1-point advantage. But again, not just a 1-score game, it's a 1-pull game. 1 pull could bring Epic Comets right back. They are so close to doing just that. Flag gets pulled out for now. Uh-oh, 1 more slay here on Moonwalker, and this could very well go through. This could be the 2-0 lead that it feels like QIR have been building on. And he's a little between. Do we want to go left? Do we want to go right? He goes right instead, and that flag gets stopped for now. 2 down for Epic Comets. You might see a toss here. The player's not looking for it. There it is. The communication comes through. So too does the score. 2-0 lead for QIR.
Almost bad right there. Again, folks, you wait to make a decision. Analysis paralysis. That decision in a game like Hilo will go forth and make you. 2-0 lead right now. After Epic Comets had some fantastic offensive opportunities right here. But that goal line stomp, I believe that was Chonkman, correct?
Yes, Chonkman with the double kill on the flag score point. That was huge.
Taking down Sus EJ, a main slayer of this QIR squad. We're on board with Dally right now as this is a flag being ran. Frags and a lot being vested right now. And now a little bit closer. Okay, so gets the trade right here, but knows that there's players coming. That's enough, and flag now gets taken remind the good folks about our flag capping procedures if both are gone.
So if both flags are out, it's going to take a reset to make sure that you can score. And as you can see the icons in the red and blue, you can see a flag being held by Moonwalker on the other side. That flag is out, not currently being held. That's why we don't see it as an icon on the map, or on the HUD, I should say. It's 2 go down for QIR. Epic Comets have the pressure in the base to take this one back, but it's going to be difficult to do so. Chalkman with another huge play. This time on the offensive. He did not have himself his traditional Game 2 Slayer. We've seen him pop off in different grassroots community tournaments here in Halo. Talk about an answer back for the young man, handling the adversity of not playing up to his standard in Game 2. Love this response from Chunkman in Game 3, the MVP for his team so far in this one.
Nicely done chasing this one down. Darker User will be sent back to spawn. Think about their offensive woes. 4 minutes to go right here, and this is a true neutral situation outside of the score, outside the 2-0, right?
Yes, this is very doable. This is still highly contested. With 4 minutes left on the clock, you can take 2 minutes on a map that only needs 15 seconds to score, so plenty of time left in this one.
Frag away. This is return coming. QIR's got to get aggressive right now. Not gonna happen. Gets the score and gets the pull. He is running through the side right now. First shot. Yeah, that was a very, very bold. Given that you kind of could have anticipated these two coming. This is possibly the worst situation imaginable right now for this QIR squad. There's 2 there, or for the Epic Comet squad, excuse me. There's 2 there. Get it. There's the pull down through mid. Nice slide. Even better one on the backside. And gets out with the life.
Huge potential to counter cap here and bring back that 2-score lead for QIR. This all occurred as a result of the resources being used by Epic Comets. Look how close it is. Just one tap of the button, the X button, will score, and it does. And that goes back, Tugboat, to Epic Comets. Sure, they score, but they utilized all of their resources. 4 players went down in that fight to score 1. And so what that means is QIR had free reign of the map to counter cap. That's exactly what they do.
Nicely done. Perfect utilization right there. Talk to me a little bit about how different this kind of like futuristically looking shotgun is to your traditional like lead-based bird shot or whatever.
So the Bulldog, the human UNSC shotgun, very traditional, right? It shoots out a shotgun shell. We're all familiar with that. But the Heat Wave, that's got plasma heat inside of it, and it almost shoots like a projectile as opposed to a shell. So you got to lead your shot a little bit. You got to get a little geometrical with that angular, not necessarily velocity, but that angle you need with that reticle to line up your shots. Dally lining up 5 perfect shots long range. Those are difficult shots to hit, as Epic Comets are still close. And down by 2 with 2 minutes left, there's still plenty in it.
And that's 2 down right here. Now the 2 members still alive for QIR are covering up this flag area as of right now. Darker User gets taken down again. This just got a lot harder, especially with Moonwalker now with this overshield in hand. Back smack. Are we looking at a cap number 2 here for Epic Comets? They almost need to set this up on the backside as well. And okay, is this a good decision, letting flag cap be protected by OSU? Carrying flag.
Once that flag gets into the base, I'd like to see the OS start to run back. But my gosh, somebody's actually able to pull for QIR. And they get 3-4 down. Oh my god, it's another goal line stand for QIR. Unbelievable. They now have a flag out. They are now on the run. Unbelievable. This is going to set up a dueling situation, but hey, it's a 2-score game. QIR are in the advantage in this scenario. They can wait out, sit the flag in the base for the rest of the game. If that's what happens, this one is over. Unbelievable. In the Game 1 King of the Hill, this is exactly what we saw. It's coming down to a game of inches, and QIR just inching out the competition. Unbelievable. If you're Epic Comets, you have to get risky here. You have to almost leave your flag at the base, which common knowledge would say, wait, don't you want to protect your flag? Yes, you do. But in this scenario, seeing the situation, 45 seconds left on the clock, you got to go for broke.
You really do. Hey, that's a fantastic start here for One-Eyed Willie. Or One-Eye Willie, excuse me. And now, is that a full 4 down? Excuse me.
You're going to get the re. And they're going to get the score. And with 30 seconds left, they're set up for the double cap. You're going to see fridge spawns occur here to the left. So the Epic Comets are going to run it to the right. This is the right play, right process. But Sus EJ off spawn. He actually gets a mid-flag spawn, and he's on the back of his opponent.
Oh, no.
Oak Assassin has to turn and fight this fight, but he goes down. QIR just keep clutching up.
Oh, no. Yeah, so honestly, that one little mismaneuver, right? As he's coming through here, it happens so frequently. There's like a perfect angle that you can get a slide in here as you're carrying it, and then throw flag again. But this actually gets caught in the upper lip of this doorway right here.
Wow.
That stops. You even saw Oak Assassin kind of like stop and just realize, like, man, I just messed this up. Because getting that, like, just one more throw, and teammates may have been able to get to it. We may have just witnessed our breaking point in this series.
This is an example. This series has been a great example of why stats don't mean anything. I'd actually even start to make the case why the final score doesn't mean anything. Think about this. Based on the eye test, Tugboat, didn't that Aquarius CTF feel the exact same as Recharge King of the Hill?
It felt very, very similar. Like,
right.
QIR mostly in control, and then Epic Charter just with amazing comeback capability, but ultimately it ending all out for naught.
And so I think in this instance in Game 3, you had a much more accurate reflection of how close it was in the scoreboard. So that's why, again, you gotta watch the action. You gotta have fun with us tuning in and checking out how this match is won. It's not just about, I guess, what would be. That's the final score. It's about the who, what, where, when, why, and that's why you love to break it down. And, man, the eye test, so important, so strong. QIR, a lot like in that Game 1, the Hills came down to where both teams had 80 to 90% on the bar, and QIR just clutched up. More often than not, they do the same here in Game 3 and take a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me, right? It's like everybody here on the side of QIR is either like, pretty positive or pretty negative, right? 23-7 here, 17 here for Darker User, 8 assists to boot. Chonkman, ice in his veins. Somebody check this man's pulse. 29 and 14 with 10 assists to boot. 18.3 on the KDA. Everybody with a positive KDA on the side of Epic Comets, which tells me that their assists are where it came in and really mattered.
Again, it's that objective efficiency that we talked about in Game 1, and icing up is objective efficiency. But hey, when you're fragging out like Chonkman does there, 29 and 14, a 2.0 KD. My gosh, what was it? A 18.0 KD, including the assist that young man was able to secure. And look at the damage dealt, 8,200. That is out of control. That is wild. Chonkman was such a strong presence on the map. We called him the MVP in the middle of the match, and looking here at the end result, he was absolutely the MVP in Game 3. Wow.
Quantity, quality. I know we keep talking about it, but the simple fact is that Chonkman single-handedly led. Yes, he had support, but it all came down to him at the end. Single-handedly led not one but two different Epic Comet stops. Folks, look at the scoreline. It was 3-2, right?
Think back to that goal line stand that Chonkman stopped, where we're kind of thinking, okay, everyone's down for QIR, but oh my gosh, there's Chonkman in the back of the base, and he gets not only one slay, he got the double, and he needed to get both. Had he not gotten both, had he just gotten one kill, it's still a goal line stand. It's still an amazing play. But to double down on it and to double up, double kill, man, Chonkman, it's not only about the 29 and 14. Sure, the stats look pretty at the end, but you got to talk about and you got to recognize plays like that, because that was the difference.
Yes, 100%. And he did it fully once, kind of like did it like a second time as well. And again, folks, you see the scoreline. Chonkman just has more average pedestrian plays. QIR drops that one. We're looking at a 3-2 scoreline the other way, and a series going towards the outside of Epic Charter. But as it is, there's theory crafting. That's alternate universes that we're not living in, or something like that right?
Think about it like this. Yeah, you make a great point, Tug, but if he doesn't get those 2 kills, he goes 27 and 14 instead of 29 and 14. Okay, that's still a phenomenal performance. Exactly. You just look at the stats and go, okay, he was the best player. But without that iced up, clutched up double kill, out of 29 kills, it's the 2 that matter most. So again, you just can't look at stats at the end of the game and say, oh, he had a great game, he had a bad game. You have to look at the moments that matter most, and in those moments that mattered most, QIR clutched up, in particular, Chonkman.
100%. 100%. That ice in the veins, that clutch factor, that's what's going to be necessary here as we move to our second ball game mode of the entire tournament. I love it. I absolutely love it. This has been the neglected, redheaded stepchild of the game modes here for the HSEL thus far. We've seen, mostly obviously, we've seen a lot of strongholds, a lot of strongholds. We've seen plenty of King of the Hill as well. We've even seen some TCF thrown in there, and I know a whole lot of players, especially, I feel like a lot of Halo players just don't like CTF as a game mode in general. Ball, though, we've only seen one actual game mode of this played on broadcast. We're getting the second one and possible last one if QRR takes it here for the grand finals.
QAR are on match point, but they have almost a series within the series. Here in Oddball, you have a potential for a 3-round barn burner. So first to 100 points wins the round. First to 2 rounds wins the game. And I have seen plenty of oddball matches go the distance, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes even. I mean, imagine, it's going to be hard to cast for that long in a row, but imagine playing it. So the endurance factor starting to become very important here on day 3 of a 3-day tournament. We're getting towards the end of the day here on day 3 too. So the endurance going to be important. Granted, these are high school students, so they don't get as worn out as we do, Tugboat, as 97-year-old Halo players, but they're gonna feel it nonetheless. So this is going to be crucial here on Oddball Streets. It's going to be very difficult to secure 20 to 30 seconds at a time. I'd really like to see these two teams play for 10 to 15 seconds at a time. That's okay, and the reason that is, well, just look at the 360 POV you have of the camo here, bottom mid. You can get the sense for how close quarter and chaotic Streets is. It's called Streets for a reason, right? It's a slugfest, and even if you do get 4 down, like we saw previously on Aquarius, another small map, you're going to get right back in the action off spawn. And we saw that on Aquarius. We saw some crazy goal line stands because of that, and you might just see the equivalent of it here on Oddball Streets. Here we go. Game 4 is live.
Absolutely. A national championship. I guess I can't call it another national championship given that we've gone 5 in a row. But folks, Mikowski said it earlier. This is so important for Slayer. This is the game mode that is most similar to Slayer. That should tell you everything you need to know. Epic Comets did fantastic in the Slayer earlier. That was a 50-45 performance in their 1 map win thus far. Let's get the energy going. If you're in chat, let's hear you say it. If you got predictions, let's hear those as well.
Got Chonk Mama in the chat. So much love and respect for you, Chonk Mama. I love me some esports mom and dads that support this new endeavor to compete at the highest level. And sure, something that's not the traditional side of sports, but it's esports, and it's a new age level of competition. And man, I so much love and respect for the parents that support their children to chase their dreams and, again, get in the mix, compete at the highest level because of what you can earn and take in with those real-life experiences that come from these real competitions. QIR off the start with a 30-second head start. I said 10 to 15 seconds would be efficient. They're getting 40.
Yeah, and so this is also the big difference between this map and another map, like, say, your Oddball Live Fire, your Oddball Recharge, Mikowski. This has the opportunity, those maps have the opportunity to throw this Oddball out and kind of get your own reset in between possessions. There is no opportunity here onto Streets. I do remember when this game very first came out, and over on Cafe side, there was literally like a single pixel that you could throw it out, and so that was the only place that the teams, you saw teams like hole up at, right over there, that Cafe, pretty much actually where that grenade just landed. Actually, it was fun, it was cheese, it was not competitively balanced. We see this, and it is competitively balanced now. QIR making that thing sing.
Man, 55 and rolling to 10. And you talked about this sometimes mirroring what feels like a Slayer. I've seen 300 plus slays. And again, a traditional team Slayer goes to 50. That's 6 times what you'd see in a Slayer. 300 slays are on the table if this one goes the distance. But for now, it's QIR with 69 points on the board to 10. And this is huge. Right as they're about to roll into a round 1 victory, Epic Comets get their first team wipe of the match. They've also got the camo to work with. That's going to allow them to take down Chunkman. And this is big. Epic Comets with their first good hold of the match.
Yeah, and now it ends up over here on Subway's side. You saw this more so ending up on this A side, not so much in Subway's. And we talked about it yesterday, I believe. This is just so easy to load up with frag grenades and make a soft target to begin with. As it is, it's a pinstripe kill feed as Moonwalker is doing a fantastic job working on down this lead.
Cut it in half, does Epic Comments, and that's huge. Just want to keep it close. That's the rallying cry for them this whole time. Just find a way to get to Game 5. This is the Game 4 that you need, though, to do it. As Moonwalker has secured 47 seconds and rolling. That's a pretty nice little answer back to Sven's 67.
Ball drop. Enemy has the ball. Ball drop. Enemy has the ball.
Hopping on board here with Darker User at the top of C. Great hold here from QIR. You can see all players there located at the backside of Tram. Set across, you can see that parallel line. So they're not bunched up together, but they do have the same line of sight. Darker User with the grenade toss. Takes down Dally, who seemed to be the tip in the spear of the push. Only 3 seconds left, and that will do it. Dally, the last player alive, but he's spawning on the other side of the map. QIR take round number 1.
That's a 100 to, what is that? I just had it. 56, 56, excuse me. 100 to 56 game number 1 here of this best of 3. Now, we see a reset. This is different from Halo's past. It is very important to note here, folks. QIR, they are one oddball win away from a grand finals number 6.
Moonwalker gets the ball off the start, but with no teammates to support his rotation over to Tram. He's going to drop the oddball shortly after, but look at that. Tram spawns 4 Epic Comets. We should see a shot go into the back. There it is. Boom. As QIR try to make the rotation, but they go down. QIR now, Chunky with the shotgun. Potential double kill. And just like I talked about earlier, does a good job to disengage, but wow, a great chase grenade there. Great communication from Epic Comets. Take down that power weapon for now.
Yeah, so I think that might have been a little bit of a push trying to maintain this mid-map control. Nothing doing. Chonkman from long gets taken down. Dolly is taking names.
This is big. On the opening break of round 1, QIR were able to roll with a minute plus uncontested. Epic Comets are putting up a fight here in the end of round 1 and the beginning of round 2, giving themselves that seeing is believing moment that they need to force a game 5. 30-second check mark. Checkpoint secured for Epic Comets. And because of that situation you talked about earlier, you can't play the oddball. You can toss it out in the middle of the map. You can't necessarily throw it off the map, and that hurts Epic Comets. That helps QIR here as they're able to secure the oddball with the full control of the subway.
Chunkman not just punching air, he's realizing this active camo can be out soon, right? Can be difficult, and like, hey, why not just spam melee the air, right?
Might as well. You got nothing else to do when you got the oddball. Oh, here we go. Something to do. Reset the oddball. Look at that.
Down.
Huge play there from Chunkman. That is so massive. Now, 4 go down for QIR, so I don't think they're going to have a chance to contest Epic Comets grab there, but at least Chunk was playing the process correctly of tossing that oddball out, getting some semblance of a reset. But despite that, Epic Comets answer back. They got the oddball now, and they got the camo as well. But Camo Eyes here. Spot him out. Sus. EJ goes down nonetheless. Love this discipline here from What I Will. It's a wait. Bait that player in. And as soon as the shields dissipate, they take their shot. They take their opportunity to strike. And One Eye Willie with this camo leads to a 4-down situation for QIR. Epic Comets could be looking at a round 2 victory here because of it.
16, 9, and 7. That's your score line for One Eye Willie as he is just making mincemeat out of QIR members the past couple of minutes, folks. Hanging out on purple. That shotgun to ring out. Got to soften up the target a little bit here. Now, ball carrier should drop right here and add in there. So does get the take, but yes, another 4 and out for QIR.
Oh my goodness. As good as QIR looked in that round 1, you could actually make the case Epic Comets look better here, and they do have more points. Or excuse me, they have prevented QIR from getting more points than we saw from Epic Comets there. About 60 or so in round number 1. Only 24 for QIR here in round number 2. One final push through the Tram side. 2v2, now 2v3, and Epic Comets go 4 down. QIR, with their round on the line, are able to give themselves an opportunity to come back and maybe even secure the national championship.
Peppering up a little bit and has got to get easier targets as they come in. They're calling players everywhere. Doke Assassin takes down Darker User. But while I'm talking about this, QIR on a full rotation, they're just putting space in between themselves and Epic Comets. This is so smart.
I'm just loving the smart plays. So difficult to make the smart plays too in the heat of battle, and everybody in the lobby is doing just that. It's really going to come down to the millimeter, the nanosecond here, as Epic Comets need just a few more seconds, and with 3 down, that should be enough. Some good shots here from Sus EJ through the shroud screen, no less. Unbelievable to hit those shots where you can't even see the opponent.
Nice.
But Epic Comets will take it. We got that round 3, best of 3. It's like a series within a series here. This one's going the distance.
Yes, sir. And if Epic Comets takes this one, we'll go down to a Game 5 barn burner and potential for that bracket reset. Now, QIR is come off the break right here and absolutely perfect so far on this Red Street side. Looking forward. That's an initial take. Nobody really paying attention to ball quite yet. Back and forth trades, but 3 down now for Epic Comets. Last shot and a trade again, so Epic Comets down full 4.
This is big. Getting possession of the oddball in the early rounds gives you that cushion, and it forces the other team to chase, to start to feel a little squirrely. That's probably how Epic Comets are feeling, especially so when you consider the series is at 2-1, match point for QIR. Sticky Grenade goes out, trades out, I believe, on the Tires location. QIR resets that oddball the best they can by throwing it out. 2 players in the PD location. Great use of the shroud screen. But maybe an even better use of camo here. Yes, from One-Eyed Willie. Here we go. QIR, when they previously got the lead in the early goings of round number 1, they rolled with 60-plus seconds. Here, you only get 23.
Ah, nicely done. So Sus EJ may be hanging out for another second or so to try and get theirs back, but here we go. 2-on-1. One-Eye Willie takes down the first, looking for the second. Nah, not gonna find that one. Enemy with ball. Fantastic nade. Darker User looking into the future and reading it perfectly. Full rotation now, trying to get coverage from each and every side. One-Eye Willie now on board here. 20-12. Almost wins it. That's going to be enough for Sven Bad Bones to take this one, and QIR to take over PD for their own hold right now. Just sit behind the desk.
Could be seeing a championship form before our very eyes here. Gotta give props to Sven Bad Bones. You might see the kill count and think that they're not having a good game. Look to your right. 130 and rolling in OBJ. That is unbelievable. 2+ minutes of time here. That is what you want. You need those selfless players that are willing to hold on to the oddball to score the points that matter most, as QIR builds a 50+ second lead. But just as I say that, Oak Assassin with the most clutch of 5 perfect shots. Camo goes back to Epic Comets. They're starting to own and dominate the sandbox control. That could trickle down into the scoreboard as well via points.
Oh, it definitely has. Probably 20 points or so, like you said here for Epic Comets, as they've just been doing a fantastic job of maintaining that active and really taking advantage of it. That's multiple times One-Eye Willie and now Oak Assassin that have gone forth and taken the most out of this one. Perfect angles. Now pick up ball and tries to get it to this to a little bit of a better location. Darker User left solo dolo and gets eaten alive right there. New attempt here for QIR after they go down 3.
Really curious where Sus EJ is. And I love how Sus EJ, as the last Spartan standing, waits for his teammate to spawn and pushes as a collective group. Sometimes in oddball, you're the last player alive and you see the oddball being scored by the other team and you just want to get right back in the mix. It makes sense, right? But smarter to wait the extra 5 seconds so you can do exactly what we just saw there. Sus EJ and Sven Bad Bones combining for 2, only losing 1 resource in the meanwhile. That's a +1 net outcome. You'll live. You'll play for that.
One-Eye Willie, a little bit low right here. Now hanging out in tires. Looks like they're going to be trying to rotate this one all the way in. Yeah, so that's a toss and now a roll here. Ooh, dangerous areas right there. Shots ringing out. A couple down. One-Eye Willie! Oh, does fall down right there. I think might have gotten the... Wait, what's going on
And
right here?
Chunkman takes it! 1v1. There were 6. Sorry, quick math. 6 players down in the lobby. Chunkman was the only player alive for QIR, the oddball grabber for Epic Comets. And Chunkman might have just won the 1v1 to win a national championship.
Yeah, this is last fight territory. 5 seconds to go. Well-placed frag grenades, though. Gotta pick this one up. Last kill. Sus EJ on the backside right here. So that's the last player alive for this QIR. No, Sus EJ taking down a full 4 on a stop at 93.
Oh my God, the level of ice and the handling of adversity in this tournament has been so impressive to me. Now, QIR are very close, though. They're only 7 seconds away, so if they're able to wipe the Comets here, they should be able to secure the 7 seconds they need. Here comes the push through the PD. Defensive grenade effort there from One Eye Willie as the team combines for a double kill. One Eye Willie on the flank might just get a third. Our Epic Comets going to come back and do this.
Last push is what we're getting close to for both of these teams. Here as a ball round has gone 1 for 1. QIR, dominant performance, 156 in the first. Epic Comets a comeback and everything in between. Last push, gotta get it. There's a shotgun, 87, 88, gotta drop it. That might have been it. On board, 96, 97. That is it. You are witnessing a 6th back-to-back victory for QI Roberts.
Unbelievable ice in the end game. QIR had the 1v1 ice from Chunkman, but then at the end it took the collective effort of all 4 to somehow break through that hold that Epic Comets had at the backside of A. I am losing my mind right now. I cannot believe what we witnessed here. Look at this series layout. Again, 4-1 in the Recharge King of the Hill. That easily could have been a 3-3 tie going into the 7th and final hill. And then every match the rest of the way reflected what I felt like was an extremely close series, and hey, it was.
An incredibly close series, basically a $1,000 match, but with between first and second, $3,000 going on into QIR as they have earned that through and through. $2,000 in for Epic Charter. Now again, folks, remember this is scholarship money. This is money to go forth and really go forth and further the higher education of any member on either of these teams. Some fantastic stuff, guys. We also, of course, have Darker User in the running here for a little bit of extra scholarship, right? That is going to be in the form just for being in the running. Has gotten some cashola. If they do win it, this will be another, I think, $1,500 if I remember right, going on in to them for winning that HSEL Nationals player.
Already 500 in the back pocket for that consideration. One of 5 players in the country that can be in that conversation. And if they win it after a win here this weekend, it's 1,500. That goes their way via scholarship money. My goodness, I'm tickled by the incredible halo that we got to witness here. Look at that. Look at the score. Look at the final score, Tugboat. How close could this have been? We see the 2-1 round advantage, but how close was it really? 238 to 243 after nearly 500 seconds of oddball points being scored. It only came down to 5 of those points to find a winner, to find a national champion. This could not have been any closer.
Yeah, and this is an example of Epic Comets actually getting more points, right? It was QIR's 200, the 100 in round number 1, and the 100 in round number 2 that secured them this win. So Epic Comets, this is just... Given that they lost by only what it was like 12 points or 12 seconds or something like that on oddball in the third round right here.
Look at
they
that.
actually get more points across these 3 rounds than the QI Roberts squad does, right? But at the end of the day, quantity, quality. I feel so perfect that it comes down to another example of that here in the oddball on streets.
Wow, that's incredible. What lost in all the chaos, I didn't even realize it's just the way you would assume that the Eagle squad, QIR, had the 243, but no, you're right. It was a better all-around performance by Epic Comets, but it comes down to right time, right place, clutching up when it matters most. When the clock is dwindling down, so too are those shields. Who makes the play? Well, it was Chunkman, right? In that 1v1, Chunkman took down the oddball carrier for Epic Comets. They were the last 2 Spartans on the map, and Chunkman made the play. That was something I'll never forget.
Nope, and a lot of this happens because of that bulldog. He picks it up along the way. Noah doesn't have as much ammo as it would normally in like your social games that you'd be playing online and stuff like that. But it still makes every shot count. Comes up, peppers the player on top A right here, up on the stairs, and gets a shot on the second one. That's enough for the player's perspective we were watching. There wasn't Chalkman, I believe. That was Sus EJ. I'm not 100% sure. But regardless, comes forth and softens them up enough to get that. Chunkman gets away with the life. You have two players hanging out on point, and everybody else from Epic Charter is far enough away. I'm not going to say in Narnia, but they're far enough away, Mikowski. What an absolute match.
I'm just looking again at the stats. I'm just like, was that real? Did it really come down to 5 seconds? 500 points scored just about, and it came down to 5 seconds. I feel like there's a life lesson in there somewhere. Gosh.
Yeah. Again, dude, quantity and quality, right? All the slays, all of this boiled down to a situation where QIR, yes, they had 238, right? They had less actual points, but it's the 100 points in either of the ball matches, the ball rounds, round 1 and round 3. They get to 100 points first. That's all that matters. Technically, I mean, you could technically win at a scoreline of 200 to 298, right? Like, and you could still technically win with getting 0 points in one of the matches, and the other team getting 297, excuse me, and 298 because 101 and then 99 and 99. Yeah, like if you win 199 in like rounds 1 and 3 or something like that, then you literally could lose by like a 2/3 like disparity right there. But it's the points that matter again.
Yep. Well, I guess one of the life lessons that I have that comes to mind, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But maybe these boys and girls showed us why it is important to start strong, because in each of those 3 rounds, Tugboat, the winner of the opening break, despite how close it was and how crazy and elongated those rounds went, ultimately the winner of that opening break, first to score the points, won each of those particular rounds. It was Epic Comets who were able to win the opening break in round 2. They won round 2. And then in rounds 1 and 3, the opposite went to QIR. And that's the difference in this one, that if you broke it down, you could probably take hours to break it down because it was just that close.
Yeah, it's such an amazing series, honestly. Guys, I have been lucky enough to cover several of these. I know now Mikowski feels me, and he understands what I'm saying when it might be high school, may not be HSC or HCS stuff, excuse me, but this is still incredibly high-level Halo and just supremely entertaining all the way through. Again, folks, it just don't feel like a job. We're getting a little interview action set up. I'm actually not going to tell you who we got. I'm going to leave the suspense there for you guys. But as we're getting this one set up here, folks, I want to give you a huge shout out to some of the organizations and that make stuff like this possible. Now, when you're talking about gaming concepts within HSEL, you have to just go over there, gamingconcepts.gg, and you'll find out about all kinds of stuff. They have educational skills down here for middle school students. They have their entire interactive media platform. You can go forth and even talk a little bit about shoutcasting, right? Streaming as well. There's plenty of lessons on there, and also obviously streaming with a focus on the public speaking. Public speaking, well known as the #1 fear of all human beings and adults, right? You conquer that, you will have conquered, again, the most common top fear of all adults, of all people, period, right? Computer applications as well, folks. If say you were interested in working in something like this, but you don't necessarily want to be the ugly mug screaming about the game and whatnot. What we do is literally impossible without our production staff, our TOs, and everybody else behind the scenes. That there is a laundry list of jobs to be done behind the scenes, and you can start, if you're in high school, that first step with the gaming concepts.gg over there with computer applications. That says gamingconcepts.cc right there. I'm pretty sure that's for computer applications. It might be different from computer applications. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be .gg. I want to talk about our sponsors here. That is, of course, Intel, Oakley, and Valor. Intel first here. HSEL is brought to you by Intel, of course. Thanks to Intel's support, HSEL has been able to offer high school students across this beautiful nation, and with colleges and with schools up in Canada, I believe, international, right? Across the nation, an unparalleled esports experience, from cutting-edge technology to thrilling competitions, just like this one. Intel is fueling the future of high school esports. Discover how Intel sparks innovation and pushes the boundaries of possibility over there. Intel.com. Want to talk next about Oakley? We've been talking about it consistently. Absolutely love Oakley, and they've been getting more and more into the gaming space as of recent years. The HSEL Nationals 2024 is presented by Oakley. You can go forth and elevate your gaming experience with the Holbrook, Latch, or Helix gaming eyewear collection. Now, these are designed with precision and style. Oakley's gaming glasses are engineered to provide ultimate comfort and superior protection against eye strain and fatigue. We were talking about some of the blue light here earlier. The stuff really matters. You can't replace these things. You can replace your monitors. Experience sharper visuals and reduce glare thanks to Oakley's advanced lens technology. Folks, you can find out more over there at Oakley.com. Last one here before we get our interview going. Valor. Yes, Valor. You can elevate your school's esports training. The Valor Training platform offers a premier experience tailored for players of all ages. We've been talking about the MSEL. I was jokingly talking about the ESEL, the Elementary School Esports League. Maybe it'll be a thing of the future, but Valor, regardless, players of all ages. Valor's platform ensures effective skill development and progress tracking with structured roadmaps, categorized learning, and those interactive quizzes. It wouldn't be educational without a little bit of like tests or quizzes to be taken, folks. Generation Esports, fantastic organization. Schools who these Gen E schools who join Valor before June 30th, it is currently June 2nd, will receive the summer holiday period free. Totally free. FREE. This gives students the perfect opportunity to train and level up over the break. Mikowski, one of the most common things I hear when I talk to teachers, and coaches about their students over summer periods is that frequently this period is just like real long when it comes to learning stuff, to your math, to your Englishes, and other things like this. There's a fantastic way to keep your kids involved, at least a little bit, when you're talking about esports over the summer.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of math involved in esports. Geometry when throwing grenades, the angles that you need to accomplish that, the routes that you take to cut off an opponent with a straight line or maybe a curvature, or even the spawn predictions. That's all just heady math. Even just simply counting down in your head 10, 9, 8, and where am I going to be in 8 seconds? That's all math and geometry. So yeah, keep that brain interactive and involved throughout the summer by getting involved with some of our sponsors. Love to see what Valor's doing, and man, this is so cool. I'm a little jealous. That this stuff wasn't around when we were in high school, but I feel like we're getting to experience it vicariously through these kids who just put on such a great performance today. This has been a real treat to be a part of this.
Very true, Mikowski. Very true. The fact of the matter is that Mikowski nor I are able to turn back time, go back to when we were young men, and possibly get scholarships of our own for college and whatnot. What we can do is work with the next generation of esports, and that's why Generation E exists. Let's get this interview going. I'm getting on the horn. Maybe we got a confirm here. We have Coach, we have all 4 players coming in for our interview. We'll try and manage this chaos a little bit as best we can as we hop on into this one. Obviously, you guys saw a little message from Coach Cantrell earlier. This has been a player, or excuse me, a coach that has set this up in every way, shape, and form in fantastic fashion. Okay, so we're getting calls set up as of right now. A bit of a bit of a tall task to ask from our production staff. So given that this is going to take a little bit of setting up behind the scenes, we're going to go to a break in a second so we can kind of try and talk to these players and coaches and stuff. Not just getting 5 players together for the interview stuff is a little bit difficult, but also just from our side and kind of like going down here. I would really like to go to just a short break so we can talk to these players and kind of set up the format in which this is going, because otherwise we might end up in a situation where a lot of players like talk over each other and stuff like this. So Old Man Mikowski, FBI Tugboat, very, very short break. We'll be back with the champions here, QIR, all of them here for a group interview.
I really appreciate what you guys are doing. Thank you so much for inviting us down. I think we had some kids that were on the fence about being in the esports club, but getting them here, getting them to wear the school uniform, getting them to see what the company is like, I think that's going to spread. When they go back to school, they're going to talk to their friends. So this is a great opportunity. So you should definitely continue to do stuff like this, invite schools down to see firsthand what the benefits can be.
I am Tori Van Proyen, and I coach for Michigan Connections Academy. We are the Micah Monsters. This is my third year coaching, so this has been quite the adventure so far. Being one of 5 finalists out of hundreds, apparently, was pretty surprising and very humbling. I feel very honored that my students took the time to, think about how the program has been working for them, and it's humbling to know that I have been a part of that. I had been talking with my admin for years about starting up a program like this for an online school. So this would be the perfect opportunity to do some extracurricular that didn't involve an in-person setting. When the larger Connections Academy conglomerate kind of got together, they were able to finalize a bunch of things. And my principal went right to me and was like, "Hey, we're ready for you to coach." And I'm like, "This is going to be fantastic." We are going pretty strong. We have a good following of teachers on our Twitch now, and all sorts of families coming in to root for the students, and it has been such a good program for our school. Watching the students grow is always the most proud moment for me, honestly. I know that's kind of a generic thing to say, but these students probably wouldn't have been participating in much else outside of something like this, because I was that person. Like, I just want to do my schoolwork and go home and game. This is how I kind of advertise it to kids. I'm like, it's just a bunch of nerds hanging out in Discord together and trying to make school happen. Some students are great. Some students are struggle buses, and that's okay. It doesn't matter as long as we're progressing. Because like in video games, it's all about progression. So, communicating and being as a team together, honestly, it has been phenomenal having my little monster team together, and I get to call them monsters, which makes me happy. Next year, I'm looking forward to trying out different esports leagues for the students. We've been working with HSEL, which has been lovely. Also, our freshmen who came into our program are going to be seniors next year, and I am not looking forward to that, by the way, because this is just it's a pivotal group of freshmen who came in at the start, and it is very exciting and will be mildly emotional, but I'm really hoping that they will help us out by stepping up and trying to get more students in and showing them what we've built as a community, and try to keep that going throughout the years.
I imagine there are many more that I just don't know about, because no one really, displays their passion for esports, because, it's not really seen as cool in a sense.
My name is Trey Curtis.
My name is Jordan Langford.
My gamer tag is Tapu.
My gamer tag is Swizz.
But what got me into gaming is the Wii, I think, probably. My parents got me a Wii when I was really young. Played like Wii Sports, Super Mario.
Definitely my older brother, watching him play, hearing about other kids in my school playing games. So yeah, that's really how I got into gaming.
I don't really do any extracurricular things. I take AP classes and honors classes, but besides that, I don't really do anything extracurricular. So having esports, something I like to do a lot, I think it's just really cool, especially being able to do it with friends and things like that.
I love the guys. We practice a lot together. It takes a lot of chemistry to make a team work. We haven't lost a game in the regular season yet, and the 3 tournaments we've played in so far, and I think that's just because of our dedication, hard work, teamwork, working together, working things out when they don't exactly go how we plan them to, and I think that's a really good piece to our success is our chemistry.
I guess I wasn't really too talkative in school and stuff. Meeting 2 that were juniors at the time is kind of cool as well, because they added me to their group on Discord, and so I kind of talked with a few people there, so I guess kind of brought me out of my own friend group a bit and just talk to other people.
So I know a lot of people that love the game at my school. I mean, I play with a lot of them, but I imagine there are many more that I just don't know about because no one really, displays their passion for esports because, it's not really seen as cool in a sense. And I really think that can be put away, that stereotype.
Welcome to HSEL Nationals 2024, presented by Oakley. HSEL Nationals is coming to Midwest Fest June 7 through 9, and you can grab tickets right now. Here's just a sample of what you can expect by attending. 1, the best high school esports student athletes in the nation battling it out over 3 days to see who becomes the undisputed national champion. 2, an Apex Legends tournament featuring the best schools from HSEL and anyone brave enough to stand against them. 3, Supernova Retro Arcade. 4, dance your heart out and feel the rhythm because Casey Bemini is bringing your favorite rhythm games here to Midwest Fest. And last but not least, giveaways. Just by attending Midwest Fest, you'll be entered into one of HCL National's numerous giveaways. And you can increase your entries by completing various objectives around the festival. All of these things and so much more are what you can expect by attending HCL Nationals at Midwest Fest. It all goes down June 7th through the 9th, live in Kansas City. Join us and see for yourself who will lift the trident.
If you are not looking at new ways of engaging learners, you're becoming stagnant yourself as a teacher.
The reason this works in schools is because if you give kids what they love, they will do it in your school.
The gaming concept curriculum is that for video games. It's saying video games are here. They've been.
Hello and welcome back, folks. We are here with the HSEL Nationals 2024. We have just watched a QIR, a little bit of a comeback win over Epic Charters here. QIR, the number 1 seed, taking down number 3 seed for the 6th semester in a row, the 6th HSEL Nationals in a row. A fantastic feat, and we could not finish this competition out with a little bit of interview action. I want to welcome on in. We got Coach Cantrell, we got Darker User, we got Sven, we got Chunk, we got Sus EJ, we got the entire squad in here, ready to get this one going. on video, of course, will be Chunkman, but I believe we have everybody here with us. Coach Dark, Sven, Chunk, and Sus. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yes, sir. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
so we got 2 of them. Okay.
Think I heard third.
Okay. Hey guys, 5-way interviews can be a little bit difficult. Let's start from the top, like I'm taking roll here. Coach, can you hear me?
What do you
Coach,
say?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Now, Dark, can you hear me?
Say something. Yeah, I can hear you.
Darker User. Okay, there you go. Just something is fine. Sven, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, Chunk, on the video, you hear us, Chunk, right?
I hear y'all.
Bam,
Yeah.
that's Chunk right there. Now, Sus EJ, say something for me.
Hello.
There you go. Thank you.
All right.
Awesome. Treating it like class here. Mikowski, please take us away.
All right, we're gonna start with the coach, Chris Cantrell. I gotta just ask a simple question for you. How you feeling after another national championship?
Honestly, it's insane to think about the success that we've had in this tournament. These guys have been extremely dedicated. I mean, we were practicing from 9 a.m. up until our series against Bosco Tech in like the semifinal. So I think I'm most impressed with their sheer dedication over the years because they put in so many hours to be at the level they're at. And I think that's what I'm most proud of is just their unwavering dedication and also their mental strength. Because you notice there on that oddball, they came back and it was like 20 points from them taking that map. and then all of a sudden we just pulled it together, had one last push, and closed the series up.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Again, going down the roll here, Darker User. We were talking plenty, fantastic plays on the day, and congratulations all four of you. There you go, Chalk Man hyping you up. I love that. Darker User, we were talking a little bit about the HSEL National Honor Roll. Could you talk to me a little bit about the scholarship that you got for being in the running, and I believe secured now $1,500 for taking down the competition?
Well, I mean, the scholarship itself is like, I think I paid $500 for being nominated, and I think that the scholarship is really just, it feels great to give because it makes me feel like the efforts I put in are worth it, and it's really nice to receive that. And the scholarship that I could potentially get from winning against the other five is also motivating because, like, it makes the effort that I've already putting in, for the Nationals for Halo and the Kansas City event we're going to go to, like June 7th. That makes it like much more motivating to work for. Put on that extra bit of effort.
Absolutely, and fantastic that they even give the scholarship to a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. That's mind blowing. Messing around. On all serious note, fantastic job there, Darker User, and congratulations again on the HSEL National Honor Roll. Makowski?
Yeah, Sven, kicking things off or swinging things over to you. I got to ask. I see all three of you together. And I love that. I love the real life experiences that you get with each other playing together in real life within close proximity. What's been your favorite memory in HSEL outside of the game?
Outside the game? My main thing is being able to work by a team. I don't care for the game. I just love playing with a team and being able to be dedicated to working for them and working together. That's my main thing.
I love that, Makowski. I absolutely love that answer. There you go. It's the teamwork that makes the dream work there. Absolutely fantastic. Moving down the roll here, Chunk. Chunk, are you with me, sir?
I am here.
Fantastic. Now, Chunk, icy plays. The pressure all day long. Chunk, I want you to talk to me a little bit about what it takes to be a player and then kind of encounter this kind of pressure, knowing that the game is on the line, and how you go forth and just perform all the way through this and come out on the other side.
I mean, realistically, I think it comes with overtime. I think that a year ago, if you asked us to do that, we would have crumbled under pressure. But I trust these guys with my life. And especially even a new player as Caden or Sven Badbones, I trust him with my life. So I know that if I mess up, they have my back no matter what. And all of us here are open to criticism. And so we're just going to constantly keep the pressure on each other. So as my parents would always say, pressure builds diamonds. And I think that shows great right there. I had that clutch play. I don't think you can ask for anything else.
Which one?
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic stuff. There you go. Right. Chalkman's parents maybe will listen to my commentary because I say that all the time. Pressure creates diamonds. Makowski, sir.
Man, yeah, it was an unbelievable goal line stand there on an Aquarius match that ended in 3-2. So you don't get that. You may not get the championship. So that was huge. GG's to Chunkman and the rest of the crew. Moving on down the line, Sus, EJ, I want to ask you. You guys have had a lot of success back to back to back to back. I mean, you could just keep saying the word to back because you guys have done this a lot. What's been the key to your consistency and continued success?
The key, honestly, I think we've always been had a lot of teamwork chemistry. If it wasn't for Chunkman, Darker User, Caden, I think we work really well together. We played against teams that have had one really good player or two really good players and then two not as good players. And I think it's been our coordination. I think that's what pulled us through.
Teamwork will make the dream work, Tugboat. We were saying that all throughout the cast, so it feels validating to hear that the players feel the exact same way because they're the ones on the sticks.
Oh, you got to. You got to. Now, taking it on back here, I want to talk to the coach for a second. Now, Coach Cantrell, I am certain beyond certainties that this is a mantra, a theme that you instill within your players as well. So, sir, we all know whatever competition it is, we do not get here by ourselves. Coach Cantrell, I want to ask if you have any shout-outs, sir.
Oh, definitely. There's so many people to list, but I'll try to keep it as short as possible. So we got Principal Theobald. He was from the beginning. Me and him had conversations about bringing in esports a couple years ago, and we started our program about 2.5, 3 years ago now. So him first off. Second off, Lennon Harvey, our IT director in Putnam County. We are one of the poorest counties in the state of Florida, so it's very hard for our students to have access to any good gaming equipment. So there's a ton of gaming PCs in this classroom, which is where I teach, and he helped provide that for us. So without him, none of this would be possible. And then, of course, all my 4 players right here for their sheer dedication to mastering this craft of Halo 4v4.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. Coach Cantrell, the rest of the QI Roberts squad, is Darker User, Sven, Bad Bones, the Chonkman, and Sus EJ. Once again, folks, fantastic congratulations. The back-to-back championship here in Champions QI Roberts. Thank you for coming on and giving us some of your time after the matches, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This has been the HSEL Nationals 2024. It don't feel like work. It has been fantastic. But now this broadcast has reached my least favorite part of any broadcast, Old Man Mikowski. That, of course, is the end. Fantastic. Huge shout out to Epic Charters School for coming in second. Putnam City, the Pirates there for nabbing third and $1,000 in scholarship money. But the penultimate congratulations must be given once again to QI Roberts, the 6th time HSEL Nationals Halo 2024. Just gotta give it up a little bit. Gotta give it up a little bit.
Round of
Personally,
applause
to
everyone in the chat and across the production room. We're all cheering and rooting for all of these incredible players. And man, that was so cool to hear each and every single one of their perspective, the sense of camaraderie, the sense of chemistry and common bond that they share through Halo. And man, that was that might have been my favorite part was the interview at the end. And now comes the saddest part. I am a little sad actually. I'm tired because, like you said, I think I've casted for almost 36 out of the last 72 hours this weekend, and just with different Halo events. I love Halo. But I love the moments like that the most, and really special to be a part of this. That was awesome.
It really was. It will. I know I don't speak for Mikowski here when I say that Halo will always hold that really special place in the heart. And watching the next generation go forth and enjoy, it's a different game. Halo 2, Halo 3 for us, Halo Infinite for these young folks here. But at the end of the day, it's Halo, and that's where the love lies. Mikowski, I know I speak for Mikowski as well here, but I want to give a huge shout out to our support staff behind the scenes and whatnot. Everybody over there for HSEL, David, and everybody else over there. The list is too long to go through. Our production staff here on the day, Kurz, Ben, Spencer, and Ben, of course. I said it yesterday. I said it Friday, man. Said it with Eli. And big shout out to Eli the Ninja as well. Excuse me, but as you said to Eli as well, we are just two casters screaming about esports, screaming about Halo in our rooms without our TOs, without our production staff, and everybody else who works behind the scenes. That's going to be about it from us, though. Mikowski, do you have any closing thoughts before we bid adieu to the good folks watching the stream?
Man, what an incredible experience! I don't. It's in an odd way. I almost enjoy this more than casting the best players in the world. There's just Halo is a game that is just built on camaraderie and passion. I think those are the two keywords that I think of when I think of Halo, and I really, in my first time working with the HSEL, I felt that come through full force. Just the level of passion was at another level, and it's just something I really appreciate. Right, you after 20 plus years of doing this professionally as a career, you can get a little numb to moments like that. Right, it's like I've been there, done that, but it's moments like today that make it feel fresh, fun, and exciting, and remind me why I do it.
Exactly. Like it literally reignites the fire that I have for this every time I do it, and it's nice to have that as there's doubt in all things, right? And any career that you have, there's a little bit of doubt, but it's literally days like this that remind me, oh yeah, this is why I fell in love with this stuff. Like seriously, absolutely amazing. What closing thoughts here? We talked a little bit about it between the two of us, but one of the people that we did not shout is all the parents out there, man. We saw a couple of parents in the stream as well. It is fair to say, not going to take it too negative here, but it's fair to say that Mikowski and I may not have had that same kind of support when it came to Halo and esports and video gaming when we were young folks. Seeing that here for you guys and y'all providing this for your high school students, like literally sets my heart on fire, and I absolutely love it. Last little bit here, folks. Just straight up, if you liked what you heard, bam, at FBI_tugboat. Bam, Old Man Mikowski, OLMAN MAKOWSKI. That's over on Twitter's. I'm FBI_tugboat on literally everything. You'll see us on HSEL. Again, want to give a huge shout out to HSEL and Generation Esports. That's going to be about it from FBI Tugboat and Old Man Mikowski. Appreciate you guys for watching. We will catch you on the flip side.